going to go ahead and start on chapter 6, the manicuring chapter. So today what we're going to learn about, we're going to explain the reasons why you need to learn manicuring. Anybody know why you need to learn how to do manicuring? Why it's important? Because a lot of the manicuring is something that a lot of people don't really do anymore. Basic manicuring, right? And what's a basic manicure? Anybody know?
Like just painting the regular nail.
Painting.
I mean polishing.
Ooh,
the
child.
nail.
Yes. Polishing the nail.
nail
Your natural nail, right? So polishing with regular lacquer, right? Our lacquer is a basic manicure. But now, what do we do now more often than that? Gel manicures. So the difference between a gel manicure and a basic manicure is gel polish, right? Now, you will be doing a little bit, in my case, I etch the nails even with a basic manicure. We buff the nails and everything. But not just, you need to learn this, not just because you have to do a basic manicure at state board. You do realize you have to do a basic manicure at state board. But because a manicure is the basis for every service that we do. Right down to pedicures as well. Think about, what is a pedicure?
Just polishing the nail.
It is a manicure on the feet. Pedi means feet. Mani means hands, right? So the only difference between a mani and a pedi is the scrub. The scrub. You add a scrub in there. Okay? So we're going to talk about why you need to learn it. We're also going to talk about some services that are included in your scope of practice for nail technicians and certain things that you are supposed to do and that you're not supposed to do. Okay. We're going to talk about the different equipment that we use to perform nail services. Okay. We're going to list the different types of multi-use and single-use implements that we use during nail services. Everybody know what a multi-use implement versus a single-use implement is?
Yes.
Okay. Things we can sanitize and reuse over and over again versus throwaway implements. We're going to talk about different materials that we use to do nail services, as well as professional products. Okay. And then I'm going to demonstrate how to do a basic manicure, the state board way. Okay. What I want you guys to remember, when you guys go to state board, just like everybody is different, every school is different. What I do when I set you guys up for state board is I set you up to win. Okay. I set you up to pass the state board and to pass with no questions asked. So I want you guys to stick to how you were taught and not look at who's sitting next to you and how their kit is set up. Because you're going to have people that show up with a whole different hand than you. You're going to have people show up with a full bottle of acetone this big. Lord knows, I don't even know why they would do that, because I'd be scared to death. They'd spill in my case before I got there and I didn't have any. Okay. So the way your kit is set up, it is set up exactly the way it needs to be set up for state board. Okay. So just make sure that you don't veer off and do anything different at state board. Now, when you graduate, it's your world, baby girl. You do what you want to do. If you want to have you a set up like this where it's sitting beside you and you can reach everything, that's how I do it. I don't have no rolled up towel. I have a big pillow and all of that stuff for my clients' comfortability. But what I want you to do is just remember that we are learning the state board way today. Okay. When clients come in here and you start doing manicures, gel manicures, full sets, we may do it differently. But at the end of the day, you guys have to take a state board to get your license. Okay. Good morning, darling. You have to take a state board. Oh, I love that. Very sweet. You have to take a state board to pass and get your license. And to me, that's all that matters. I want you guys to know how to do all the extra stuff, and you will learn how to do the extra stuff. But the state board way is what matters, okay? So we're going to talk about men's manicures and how we approach that. the service. We're going to demonstrate massage techniques that you need to learn how to do and how to say and spell so that you can identify them on the theory exam. Okay, we're talking about words that sound French and a whole nother language, right? That you need to, if you can't say them, just like when we went over our disorders and things of that nature, if you can't say them or spell them, you won't be able to identify them on the test. Okay, so we're going to talk about massage techniques. We're also going to talk about the difference between a spa manicure versus a basic manicure. Okay, and identify benefits and of infection control practices and paraffin wax treatments. Okay, anybody know what paraffin wax is? You ever had a paraffin wax treatment? We may go into that tomorrow as far as the actually doing it, because today is more important that you learn the manicure and then the add-on service. It's an add-on service. Okay, and we'll talk about how we approach manicures to clients that are sensitive, meaning health concerns, right? Just like we wouldn't want to work on someone who has diabetes or, high blood pressure on their feet. There's certain things that you wouldn't want to work on, certain clients you would not want to do services on based on their health concerns, okay? All right, so let's jump right into it. On page 135, why do you need to learn about manicuring? Well, manicuring, first of all, what is it? It's the art of beautifying and the hands and the fingernails, okay? A manicure stops where? It starts at the tips of the fingers, and where does it start? Are we going to be massaging people's shoulders and stuff? Y'all can get yourself in trouble. Massaging people on their backs and stuff. That's not part of a manicure, okay? Where does it stop?
Wrist.
A little higher.
Elbow.
Up to the elbow, okay? So it's a hand and arm massage, okay? No, you don't need to go up here. Stop at the elbow, okay? Now, once you've learned how to do a manicure properly, it is the fundamental part of every service that we do, like I said earlier. And you'll be well on your way to being a well-rounded nail technician. I told you, I don't know how many of you guys were on my live TikTok yesterday. I know a couple of you were, but there was some things done that I was shocked during the service that my bonus son was receiving at the nail supply store. Right? What do you think what is a procedure that you think is done during a manicure that should not be done? That, since we've talked about this. Clipping cuticles, right? Cuticles. What's a cuticle?
The proximal nail, the keratinized proximal.
That's what everybody thinks it is, right? That's what everybody wants to cut. And during a manicure, this is what we see this all the time. It's a no. It's a big fat no, right? Why is it a no?
That's live skin.
Live skin. We're preventing infection by not cutting it. Okay. So as a nail technician, you need to have a thorough understanding of manicuring, because the appearance of the hands and nails has become a very, very a sign that you take care of yourself, that you care about how you look. Some people get up every morning and put on a whole face of makeup. I know I do nowadays, because I'm being seen, child. Some people don't. That's just your preference, but at the end of the day, a lot of people who wear nails, that's all they care about. We've talked about that before. Your nails are that says who you are. You look at my nails and what does this say to you? What does it say about my personality?
Spunky.
You're extra.
Extra. What you think?
Loud.
Yeah.
Loud.
Bright.
Right? If I had some short French tips, what might you say? Professional. I have kids. I'm elegant. Classy, right? Because these is just woo, right? So your nails say a lot about you, just like your appearance in general, right? So as your profession, that you are a manicurist, a nail technician, you need to be able to have a thorough understanding of how these the appearance will affect your client. For instance, if a client comes in, sits down in your chair, and they don't know what they want, do you know how often that happens? Like all the time. It drives me insane, right? But it happens all the time. So if they sit down, they're like, "Oh, I don't know. Are you going to spend 30, 45 minutes trying to figure out what they want? You're just going to consult with them, ask them questions, you know. What's a question you may ask?
What color do they like? Would they prefer?
What colors do you like?
Or blue?
What do you do for a job? What's your profession? If someone lays bricks for a living, you probably are not going to do an extra long set of nails, right? If a client is a dental hygienist, okay, do I want somebody's hands in my mouth with nails this long, gloves or no gloves? I mean, I don't, personally. And I'm a nail tech. You know what I mean? I know how nasty these nails can get if you don't keep them clean, right? So a client like that who works in, say, maybe they're a lawyer or a doctor, they may not want polish at all. They might just want a nice, clean manicure so their hands are clean. I look at my doctor's hands, every time I go in there. You know? So if you're looking at them, everybody else is looking at them too, right? So fashion and trends are always changing. What's a trend right now that everybody's doing? Come on now. That ombre, right? That reverse ombre French tip, right? Just a trend. Already did it, right? Long time ago. It's cool as hell though, right? It's real cool. But you need to be on top of the trends. And how do we stay on top of the trends? Social media.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Looking at the celebrities on TV and all that stuff, right? So, also, some clients cannot maintain their own nails. Can you do your own hair braids? Did you do that? Oh, girl, go ahead. All right. Well, I need to talk to you then. But some people can't do their own nails. Some people have no desire to do their own nails. That's why we have service providers, right? Some people can't cook. So what do? They go to the restaurant. Some people can't wash their clothes. They take them to the dry cleaners, right? So we have a job to do as nail technicians, and you need to know how to do it. So they also would prefer to have a professional do it, even if they can't. Lord knows, I wish I had somebody, because I'm just so picky. I'm so picky. That I could just go, you know what, girl, just do my nail. Like my clients do me. They do that. They just be like, you know what, girl, just do whatever. So when I first started my nail salon, that was one of my services, to just do whatever set. And it was $65. I would just do whatever I wanted. And of course, I would ask them, well, what colors do you not want? Or what do you not want on your nails? You don't want, because I mean, you know, if you let me do it, baby, you might end up with a mountain of bling on there. You're going to have some nails sitting about this long. But, you know, so having an understanding of what your client wants, having an understanding of the trends and the fashions of the day, very important. And, you know, having a certain type of knowledge sets you apart. Yesterday, Director of Education, nipping proximal nail folds. I was shocked.
And so a lot of them TikTok people was like, they wish they could come because they didn't get the right education.
Correct.
That gave them their education.
Give your clients a reason to want to come to you. Don't just say, oh, she sits and we watch Real Housewives of Atlanta the whole time we're getting our nails done. Talk to your clients about why they need to sit in your chair. Because I have clients, since I stopped doing nails and being a full-time instructor, haven't gotten their nails done since. They're like, no, you ain't doing nails? I ain't wearing nails. Do you know how it makes me feel? I mean, I feel bad for them, but it makes me feel really, really good that they won't go anywhere else. Faithful, loyal clients, all right? So also, clients really, sometimes people, do you know that there are some people that don't get their hand held at all unless they're sitting with you? You know? Do you know how many people literally this the only contact they have with another human is when they sit with you. That's a big responsibility, right? And I love that. I love being a lot of what I really do it because I love to do it. I would do this if I was independently wealthy, I would do nails for free. I would. If I was just rich for no reason, I would do nails for free because I love it that much. Think about how great it is just to do what you love every day. It's a good feeling. All right. So let's talk about scope of practice. Let's reiterate what is scope of practice. Somebody tell me.
What you're allowed to do with your license or what you have learned, and what you are not going to do is always stated within your scope of practice.
Very good, Anaja. Very good. Well said. So during your studies, you're going to learn about the regulations and here in of the state of Georgia. Just keep in mind that it's different in every state. But this book is used in every state. So at the end of the day, I'm sticking to what's in here. Okay? What I'm allowed to do in Russia or Mexico or Germany and all that stuff, it's irrelevant to me. Right? And you ladies live in South Carolina. You think it's very much different in Georgia versus South Carolina? Probably not. So just stick to what you are learning in this book because, every state is different. Yes, every state is different. But I can tell you this. Cutting cuticle or proximal nail folds is illegal everywhere. Okay? Argue with your mama. All right? So scope of practice, a list of services that you are not just allowed to do, but legally allowed to do within your specialty in your state. Okay? So the SAP may or may not state those services that you cannot legally perform, but your instructor, meaning me, will provide important guidelines for you to stay in close adherence to the SOP, basically nationally. Okay? So if a client is harmed while you are performing a service, who is responsible?
Me.
You. You have a license. Think about it. When you're driving a car down the road, if you cause an accident and you're not licensed, what's going to happen to you?
Insurance.
You're going to jail. You probably never get insurance on your car. They will never insure you. You know what I'm saying? You see where I'm getting at? So as a license, you're a licensed individual. You want to protect that license at all costs because this is how you feed your kids. This is how you feed yourself, in my case. So at the end of the day, I'm protecting my license. I don't care what nobody says. I'm not arguing with the folks on TikTok. I ain't arguing with the licensed nail techs. I'm not arguing with nobody. I'm a licensed instructor with a school that provides licenses to, at this point, 150 young people who are out there working. Okay? So protect your license at all costs. All right? And follow the rules and the laws that we have here in the United States. And more specifically, in Georgia, South Carolina. Okay? Now, let's talk about the types of equipment that we need to perform nail services. All right? Equipment. What is one of the things that we need to perform nail services?
A client.
Table.
Well, a client would be nice,
That's number one.
right? A client would be nice, all right? But a manicuring table. What is a manicuring table? Does it have to be love the Valentino tables? They're $1,000, right? Does it have to be a Valentino table? Can someone tell me, did I hit record?
Yeah.
I did.
I thought you did. It say stop.
Oh, okay. I feel like I can't remember if I did or not. Record to cloud.
Recording in progress.
Oh
So
no.
I didn't. It's okay. We're just getting started. Manicuring table. What kind of table do you guys have?
Manicuring table.
It's a table, right? It's a look at my table.
Yeah.
How much does this table cost? Well, $8 top, $4 legs, 4 of them.
How'd you get that?
IKEA. My favorite store. IKEA. So, is it not doing the job? Yeah, that's the job, right? So you don't have to have, to me, these tables right here, first of all, they tight. Like this. Got a tiny little, like it's probably half the size of this table. I like to have space. I need space for my clients to be able to put their elbows, hands, all that good stuff on the table, not knock anything over. I need space. I'm a big old gal. Okay? Yes. Big good. All right? So, as far as your manicuring table, it could be anything. All right? Some of y'all doing nails in the kitchen, at the kitchen table. Yesterday, I did nails in the back seat of my car. Taking those nails off that lady did on all 5 fingers.
I would say you gonna take them off, right?
Yeah, we took them off. In the back seat of the car. So at the end of the day, you really just need, it's more important that you have storage, okay? So the most expensive part of this whole setup is this here. To put my things up in. And I got this from IKEA as well. This is an Alex drawer, and they're $82. They went up on the price. It used to be like $78 or something like that, but they're like $82, $83. And it fits everything that I need in it. Everything. From my implements to, now I like to have a separate one to put all my polishes in if I don't have them on the wall. But if you have them on the wall, you don't even need that. I have 2 of them beside each table, and that's all I need. Okay? So, having a place to store your implements is very important, okay? I've told you guys that your state board bag, the state board, let me explain something real quick. The state board is very, very symbolic. What I mean by that is your state board bag, it has to zip, and it has to. If you show up with one of them free bags they give you at Victoria's Secret when you buy a pair of panties and drawers or underwear that just has a button on it, you're going to be asked to leave. Why do you need a bag that zips? Well, your stuff can fall out, yeah. But, again, symbolism. At the state board, they want to know that you understand that your implements must be stored in a container that closes, that has a label on it that says clean, disinfected implements. If the state board shows up and I just got all these implements just laying out on the table like this, or better yet, I got them in a cup like this and they're just sitting here, scissors, nippers. Well, is that clean? Do I know if it's clean? Do I know if it's been sanitized? Does anybody know if it's been sanitized? Does the client know if it's been sanitized? Y'all, how many were y'all on my TikTok yesterday? All 3, everybody. Because y'all stalk me. I think y'all stalk me when I'm not here. Y'all love me that much?
That's when I go on TikTok, you right there.
Right there.
Like
Just right there. Right. Can't even go nowhere without seeing Miss Mary's face, right? What did I say that lady pulled out of her pocket?
Nipples.
I'm talking about just pulled some nipples out of her pocket and started hacking away at my son's PNFs. Y'all know I almost fell out, right?
I would say long let's go.
I almost fell out. But she was halfway through it, so I was like.
She ain't do all of them, I don't think. So,
Were those sanitized? Were they clean? They may have been. But who knows? Who knows? She may have just pulled them right out of a container, slid them in there. I didn't see her, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? The question is, you don't know. And neither does the state board, neither do the clients. But you know who should know? Everybody. All 3 of them. And how do we know? Because they're in a container, at least we think they are. I want to at least think they are. That says clean, disinfected implements. And you also need one that says what?
Dirty.
Dirty. There is no in between, right? It's either clean or it's dirty. You either took a bath or you didn't. right? You either brushed your teeth or you didn't, right? There's no in between, not in my book.
I hate when they keep
Right. Or you just went in there and you just switched around some mouthwash, ain't put a brush to your mouth. Right? Is that clean or what? I mean, not to me.
very much given dirty.
Right. So, very much given dirty. So, when you have a manicure table, you need to consider that you need a place that has closed drawer, like these drawers close. Okay? They close and inside this drawer, I can't just throw these in the drawer. They have to be in a container that is closed. So when I say, now that you understand that, why do you think you must have a bag that has a zipper on it at State Board?
Keep everything contained.
Right, to keep everything contained, dust-free, germ-free. And at the end of the day, everything in there could be dirty, but at State Board, it's symbolic, okay? They want to know that you know that what you're supposed to do, even if you don't do it once you graduate. Because Lord knows, I see nail techs on TikTok all day long. I'm like, what is going on here? Did you not go to school? Do you not remember your State Board? Why do you have dust all over your table? Why are you letting a client sit down immediately after you just did a service and there's still dust on your dust machine from the last client? I know you ain't clean it. I know you didn't clean it. This is what professionals do. This is what nail techs with training do, okay? A lot of people would say that you're just a nail tech. Okay. Until I give you monkeypox, or till I give you an injury to your nail or an infection to your nail that means that you can't get nothing but a 9-finger nail set, or 8, or 5. Or if you're diabetic and you can't get it at all because you lost your feet. You know, it's just, you know, fun and games until you lose a whole finger, right? So, keep that in mind. You need to have some type of storage drawers, okay, that close. It cannot be one of those, have y'all seen the shelves that kind of like pull out and it's just a drawer, but the top you can see the opening and all that stuff? Cannot be that. You know those storage shelves you can buy at like Hobby Lobby and stuff like that? They must close, seal close all the way, okay? Also, you want to make sure that your top of your table is easily disinfected. It needs to be able to be wiped down with a disinfectant or some type of solution, wipe, and not be penetrated by, like for instance, a porous top. You would not want to have, what's that, you know, that the furry, yeah, some furry, that's cute. That's cute. That's gross, right?
Some polyglass on top of mine.
There you go. Put some glass, something. If your table, like for instance, let's just say it was a raw wood table, like something that you cut meat on, like a cutting board. You know, I suppose you could do that, but how many nail techs are out here really sanitizing their stuff? So you want to make sure. Plus, you got to think about it. Acetone pours on here, monomer, polish, gel, powder, all this stuff is just destroying your table, right? So, you know, that's why these tables look a little bust down, because, you know, nobody takes care of their stuff like that unless it's theirs. So, you know, that's why these are $8 tables and not $1,000 tables, because y'all don't take care of nothing in school. Not necessarily y'all, but just, you know what I'm saying. So you want it to be clean, a surface that can be clean, sanitized, and kept clear of clutter. Because when I sit down in your chair, if you still got the implements from the last client, or if it's went to the restaurant the other day, we went to Metro Diner. I was a little annoyed, but I didn't say nothing because they were busy. But she walks us back to the table. The table's twisted, like some huge person just got out the table and moved the whole table. Still got syrup on the table. Still got a cup or two from the last person sitting there. I don't want to sit down. And I did not sit down, did I not? I stood in my church clothes. Stood until she came back and wiped it and sanitized it down. Because I
smell that bleach.
And I want to smell that sanitizer, bleach, whatever you're using to clean that table off. Why would you, what's the difference between that and is this not the table? the table that feeds me, right? So I want it clean. So every client, you need to disinfect between every client. All right, every client, and you need to make sure that you have time allotted in your service. When you say it takes me an hour to do a gel manicure, 15 minutes of that should be to clean your table. And why does it need to be 15 minutes?
So it can dry.
But think about it. Yeah, some of y'all don't even read the back of the instructions on that Lysol can. You don't even know that you literally have to spray that disinfectant on the table till it's saturated. And it needs to stay wet for 10 minutes. You got to read the instructions. Otherwise, you're just spraying for your health. Well, not for your health, but for your unhealth. You're just spraying it. How many of y'all use it? My mama uses Lysol as air freshener. That is not what it's meant for. Okay? And there's certain ways that you're supposed to do it. If you're using barbicide, contact time, 10 minutes, saturated. When you spray down these, how many times you don't went to get your feet done and they actually saturated and said, you got to wait 10 minutes? Girl, bye. 10 minutes, they be done with your pedicure in 10 minutes. But you're putting yourself at risk and your client if you're not doing these things, okay? Now, let's move on. What's the next thing you need? A lamp. I got these lamps on every last one of these tables for y'all. Y'all barely use them. You gonna wish you did when you my age and you over here looking for your glasses because you can't see nothing. You want to have a lamp that will allow you to be able to see exactly what's going on here. Preferably one with white light. Okay? Look for bulbs that are white light, daylight lights. Okay? I hate that yellow light. One of the reasons why I hate it is because when I was using the yellow bulbs, right, the soft white and the 60 watt and all that stuff, clients would come in there like, I take a picture of the nails. Clients would come in and they'd say, I want that color that's in this picture right here. Then I pull out the color and they're like, no, that's not the color. That is not the color. I'm looking at my face right now and I'm like, I look a little yellow. I maybe need to change my foundation. Because this is going to tell it all. White light, daylight is going to tell you the truth. Hairstylists, when they are checking your hair, natural hair color, they will take you outside to make sure that you're at a level 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, whatever. Because this light usually in here is not going to be the true color. Okay? So do yourself a favor. If you want to show your true artwork and how the nail work, get a bright white light. Daylight is what you're going to look for, and it's usually going to be what, 5K lumen. Like this right here is 5K lumens. That's very bright. That's about as bright as you can get in one bulb. Okay, you want to add more. So right now we got about 20,000 lumens pointing at me right now. Y'all can see what I'm thinking. Y'all can see my future with this light. Okay, and that's what you want. That's what you want. Okay, you really need light. So, and try to get LED. These hot bulbs of the back in the day, that's an old school. Okay, we don't really want to use that anymore. You want to be able to use, like, I can touch these bulbs without it burning me. Okay, y'all remember when you used to get your nails done and nail tech put you in front of the bulb right here? What were they trying to do? Get that light because acrylic will cure faster in heat. But don't mess around, touch it. You have your blister there, a first degree burn to your hand. I'm not putting my client's hands nowhere near one of them old school bulbs, period. I don't even have them in here. I don't even buy them. I'm surprised you can buy them. LED bulbs are very popular these days. So, get you a good light. These lights came from IKEA, and they were $15. Okay? Same thing I have on my table in my suite. Same thing. Y'all, I want you to be successful, and I'm successful. Why would I put you in anything less than what I have? Right? So, adjustable lamp. And make sure it's one, if you're going to get one of them fancy schmancy $150, $200 lamps, Make sure they go clean across your table. They have them. They're beautiful. They do the same thing. But you want to be able to adjust it and move it. Don't have you a lamp that can't be moved, okay? Now, chairs. What kind of chair do you think you need?
Roller chairs.
I would get me one that has wheels on it. And first and foremost, make sure you get one that's comfortable. Guess where you're going to be sitting all day long? In this chair. Invest in a decent chair. This is a $99 chair from Walmart. That's got arm. I don't even really need the armrest because I ain't resting ever when I'm doing nails. But to me, it's more important that you have a better chair, the better chair, than even the client. They're only there for an hour, 2. You in this chair for 8 hours, 12. You need a nice, comfortable chair with a back support, okay? There's nothing worse than a nail tech with a bad back. Wheels is good to have, as well as something that's resistant to staining. You're going to be sitting in this chair and maybe you got jeans on. You get you a nice pretty white, because I never forget when I opened my suite and it was all white, and I went to Home Goods and got me a white leather chair with fur in the seat. Had white fur in the seat. 2 days later, after sitting in there, some of my good, jeans, that it was blue, and the leather from my clients sitting in it was turning colors because, I guess they were dirty. I don't know. It was just their color from their clothes and just sitting there. Didn't stay white long. So keep that in mind. Okay, when you're purchasing these very, very expensive and nice equipment, you really don't need all that. At the end of the day, you can do nails in the back seat of the car like I did yesterday, if in a pinch, right? But we want to make sure our clients are comfortable, okay? You guys, when I first started, I know y'all seen them chairs in the ladies' room. Y'all seen them chairs folded up in there. Those are $12 chairs that I got from IKEA. Now, there ain't very many tiny ones. All y'all some healthy girls, right? Those chairs, I had to have 40 chairs to get approved for my license to open this school. So I scrambled and got them $12 chairs because that's what I could afford. But these chairs right here will hold up to 500 pounds. We need those to get some big people in here sometimes. And you want to make sure that chair don't collapse out from under them. So where them cheap chairs, them the overflow chairs, when we do graduation or something like that, we put those out. But get you some decent chairs that a client can sit in. And when we had those chairs out here, we had a student fall out of it once a week. Boop! Just because they would lean on them and they'd be leaning back. I'm like, y'all keep leaning in that chair. We're gonna do a TikTok of you falling out of that chair. So you want to get a decent chair that can withstand weight, okay? Very durable and can resist all the stuff that we do every day. Now, what's a finger bowl? This is a finger bowl, right? What else is a finger bowl? This is a finger bowl. You get use a dog bowl that you feed your dogs out of. It's a bowl, isn't it? Any bowl. Let me tell you what I had when I had my luxurious salon that in my suite. I went and got some really, really pretty white bowls, and I put those fake diamonds in there that you get from Hobby Lobby, so that when my clients put their finger in the bowl, it didn't even have, this is a $1 bowl. Well, let's be for real. This is a $1 bowl for soaking. But it was so cute. And then I would put little drops of essence of smell in there, when they would be getting their manicure. You put your little soap, make sure it's a good smelling soap. That is absolutely okay. But what you don't want to have is these really, really cheap plastic bowls that you're soaking, because this is not for soaking off with acetone. It's gonna melt and get ugly and gross. Whereas this one is specifically meant for soaking off nails. Okay, it has a little detachment here, so you can put hot water in there so that the acrylic will soak off quicker, right? So there's all different types of bowls out there. At the end of the day, get one that you can sanitize and sterilize. Okay, this can be sanitized. Can it be sterilized? Can it be going that hot oven over there? Why?
Melt.
Melt. Now, you don't usually sterilize your bowls anyway, but you can definitely, I just feel better with a glass or a metal bowl. But that's me personally. This is perfectly fine to use. All right? What about our disinfecting containers? What's a disinfecting container? Right.
The metal ones that I see.
You see metal ones, glass ones in the hair salon. You'll see those tall ones that have the metal top and you can pull out the combs, right? That's a disinfecting container for barbicide. But a disinfecting container can be a plastic box, a Tupperware box, like one of those shoe boxes that you get with a Rubbermaid top, like we have in there, in the disinfecting area in our dispensary. When you're doing nails and you're doing nails full time, you may not want to have it sitting on your desk because it's got liquid in it. It can knock over, that type of stuff. But they make them that you can put directly on your desk. Me as a client, if that lady had pulled those nippers out of a disinfecting container, I would have felt a whole lot better. Even though I know that she was still doing it wrong, because you're supposed to take it out, rinse the barbicide off of it, let it dry or dry it off before you put it on a client. I still would have felt a lot better seeing it come out of a disinfecting container rather than out of her pocket or off the table that it was just sitting on, right? So a disinfecting container just needs to be large enough to hold your implement. So have you ever seen the ones that are about this big and all you can do is put just the tip in there? Well, what about the handle? So what I like to say is your disinfecting container you need to be able to baptize your implements in it. Okay? Completely submerge it in there. Now let's talk about an arm cushion. At State Board, you know what your arm cushion is going to be? A rolled up towel. This is your arm cushion right here. And this right here is not enough for these big old yams I got. All right? That's not going to work. But you're pretending that you're doing a client at State Board. Okay? Symbolism. I've used rolled up paper towel, a whole roll of paper towel as an arm cushion in a pinch. Why? Because your client, it's the first thing they want to do when they sit in front of you. Hands on the table. Can you do nails with their hands pressed on the table? No. So you want to have a nice cushion, and I've shown y'all, this is my cushion. They're so comfortable. And that gives you room for your clients to have a little bit of air away from the table. Then if they drop their hand, it's not touching the table. You're not going to mess up your polish. But as soon as their hands are flat on that table, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing.
Do you worry about
this can be washed. I don't just lay this out with them on. They usually put a towel on top of it,
Okay.
Cover it. But you can take this and throw it in the washing machine. Okay, you can cover it with one of those plastic backed cotton bibs or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm just gonna cover it with a towel to keep it from getting, dusty. All right. Another example is we have this long white thing. I don't know where it went. I think we got it put away somewhere. But those cushions that you see for computer they usually have them right here on this side of the table for the client. That works too. You could use a number of things, but you want to make sure that they have some type of armrest so that you get some leverage to do your job while you're working with the client. Okay. Now, your trash can. This is very, very important. You all have a trash can in front of your desk, a $20 trash can. Why do you think you all have to have a trash can in front of your desk?
cleaning in between plants? No.
You must dispose of your trash as you use it. If you just leave it on the table, and this is very important during state board, those 3 bags y'all got in your kit, they're there for a reason. One is a trash bag, one it says to be disinfected, and one says, trash, to be disinfected, and soiled linen. What's over there by that door? The very front door. Those 2 bags over there. What's that white bag say on the front of it? Clean linens. The other one says, but one's white, one's black. The other one says soiled linens. When it comes to the salon and state board, when they come in here, there's only 3 places that everything should go. Everything. And it's not laying on top of your table waiting for the next client. There's only 3 places. Those 3 bags. Remember I said symbolism. It ain't just symbolism in real life. It's for real in real life. Your soiled linens, if they're dirty, where do they go? Not on the floor, not in a bag and thrown in the corner. They go in a soiled linen container, because if state board comes in here and I got a pile of dirty linens on the floor over there, or let's just say they're in a bag, or let's say they're in that trash can right there, and it's just, we're not using it as a trash can, we're using it as a hamper. If it didn't have a top on it, for one, and if it wasn't labeled soiled linen, I'm gonna get a fine. It's a fine. What? Dirty. Soiled means dirty linens. Okay? So if it does not say soiled linen on the container, or clean linen on your container where you keep your clean linens, why would we want to keep you have a linen closet in your house, don't you? Do you just leave your towels just laying out in the same plate, like just laying out? Right? So you may have decorative towels, right? But we ain't at home. We in a salon, right? So here's an example. When I first went to train a nail salon here in Augusta, beautiful salon. It's called Digits Nail Bar. Beautiful. They opened up. They didn't have any guidance. They were actually owned by several doctors here in the city. They opened it up as an extra income. And their wives, wanted a place to get their nails done, and they were really the idea behind it. When I first got there, because they weren't doing very well when they first opened up, they were having issues because they didn't have management or any type of guidance. So when I first walked in there, first thing I saw was a little girl. She's rolling up the towels in a little roll, and then she did the next one, and then she had them piled up in a cute little pile on a shelf with no label, just on the shelf. Like, it was so cute. Little donut rolls just sitting there to grab and use. I said, fine, take them down. Take them down. We built that just for the towels. You should have had a consultant, because you cannot do that. They must be in a container that says clean linen with a top on it. Because what is flying around in here all day long? Dust. And we're not talking about just regular acrylic dust. We're talking about nail dust from people's fingers, their feet, their hands, all that stuff. Gross. I don't want a towel that's been just sitting out with Miss Mary's foot dust after she just did a pedicure all over it. Gross. Y'all see what I'm talking about? Does it make sense? Yeah. Now do you understand why the state board has these rules? Sanitation. At the end of the day, you guys can go to state board and do the worst manicure that you ever did in your life. And as long as you sanitize your table, threw your trash in your trash bag, put your soiled linens in that soiled linen bag, put your to-be disinfected implements in the to-be disinfected implement bag, and sanitized your hands, when you were done, you're going to pass. The state board do not care about how, because they know that you just have 600 hours. How many hours does it take to become a master of anything? 10,000 hours. We did the math on that. 40 hours a week, that's 4.5 years. You ain't tapped the surface, baby girl. So they know that you still have a lot more to work on. But you know what you're supposed to do as a licensed nail technician when you pass that state board. Okay? So your container for your trash must have a top on it. Why is that significant?
This is well, keep it clean.
Right?
So it can't
Contains
smell.
the dust and the odor. And the odor. Think about it. When you're done with your monomer after you finished doing your nail set, right? You fold up that towel and you throw it in the trash. If you got an open trash, a lot of the reason that these salons smell so bad is because they ain't following the rules. Why do they not know the rules? They ain't went to school. They ain't licensed. Because if you was licensed, you would know that if the state board walks in there and you got an open trash can with trash in it, that's a fine. $25 the first time, $50 the second time, $300 the third time. How many trash cans are in here? Just guess. 12 plus 1, 2, then 1 there. Then we got them in the back. We got them. Every single table has one because I had to have one in order to open this school in front of every single nail table. So do you think I'm about to pay that fine if y'all that's one of your miscellaneous fees on your contract. If you cause me to get a fine because you left trash in that trash can overnight, guess who's gonna pay it? Not me. I'm not paying it. You gonna pay it or you ain't gonna get your certificate. Cause I ain't paying it. Because you know why? Cause I just told you. You must empty your trash every day before you leave the salon. When state board shows up, they don't randomly show up at 12 in the afternoon. They find out what time you wake up and what time you open up, and they're sitting out there in their little white car with the state board emblem on it, waiting on you to come and open the door. Because the first thing they do when they walk in, that's why I went on and put the things by the door. So I remember on my way out to grab it, because the state board, first thing they're gonna look, where's your soiled linen? Oh, it's right here. Let me look. Oh, you have linen you left overnight. Fine. Where's your trash can? Oh, pick one. Trash can, fine. Trash overnight, fine. You're not allowed to do that. It's right here in the book. And state board regulations say so. Okay? So, very important that you have a covered trash can. Now let's talk about what is a supply tray. The supply tray is just something that it's just a metal tray, or it could be any glass tray, whatever, something that you keep your supplies on. Okay? In my case, I have my supplies. These are all supply. If you notice, all my stuff is covered. I don't just have my wipes and nail wipe just laying out. That's gross. It's right there beside me. I do a lot of filing, dust everywhere. Okay? So you want to make sure that you have a supply tray that is following the same rules. You can't just have your implements just sitting up. I see it all the time. These are all nail art brushes. That's all with tops on them, some of them. But at the end of the day, you cannot have implements that you are trimming and touching clients with. My nail art brushes go on the nail, not on the skin. Right? So my implements that I'm pushing back, you can't just have your cuticle pushers just sitting in a jar. Let me tell you, when I had my salon, I had a full service salon that we did everything but hair. I had a makeup artist in there. Do you know the state board came in and told me they didn't find me because they just were like, because I didn't know this, but you know how you have your makeup brushes sitting up in your bathroom, just sitting up in a jar in a salon? Fine. Where are they supposed to be? In a drawer, closed, sealed. You will get fined. So for all you makeup artists out there that are working in a salon, do your salon owner a favor and put them in a drawer. I know it looks cute. I know they do it at the Mac counter. I used to work at the Mac counter. The things they do at the Mac counter is gross. Now that I know what I know. Right? How many times you done seen people go in and try to put the lips? That's why they cut the stick off. But they still, just what they do. Put it on their hand, don't they? I went nuts every time I saw, ma'am, what are you doing? We took the lip thing off so you'll keep you from putting it on your lip. Now you done put it on your nasty hand. I do not try on lipstick at the state. Do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. Don't try on nothing. at the makeup counters. Those makeup counters are the grossest places on planet Earth. I said what I said because I've seen it. I've seen what people do. So you can't just have your stuff laying out, implements that you're going to use on someone's body. And if makeup artists that, they cleaning those brushes and just letting them sit up, can't do that. They've got to be in a closed container. Ask the state board, they'll tell you. All right. So electric nail dryers. Let's talk about the fans, right? The fans, you see those fans in front of each, sitting in front of the desk. We don't really use that very much anymore because that's for regular nail lacquer. But y'all remember back in the day when they had the fans, they was covered in nail polish because somebody done bumped their hand on it and all that. And then they didn't have to clean the thing off. You circulating all this dust, But you may have a nail fan at your desk. You've seen those tables that they would sit you at after they finish your toes that have the lights on the bottom and the fans to help your polish dry. We don't really have those anymore either. Because we use what now? Gel. Everybody wants gel. Everybody wants gel. But that is some of you may want to invest in. A fan. I like to have a fan because I be hot. I'm flashing. I need a little fan at my table. All right, let's talk about UV and LED lights. You're going to want to have UV or LED or both lights. This is a UV LED light, does both. We'll talk about that when we get to the gel section. But if you're doing gel manicures, you need to get one. You need to invest in one. Doesn't have to be expensive. Okay, they've got them for $30-$40 on, shoot, the ones we have for the school, I think I paid $35 for them on Amazon. All right, and they work just fine. Y'all done tore them up, but they work just fine. All right. Now, autoclave. That is our autoclave over there. That's what an autoclave looks like, the inside. Ours is right there. That's Tootie the Tutnauer. Okay. Tutnauer is a brand. I name everything. Y'all know my Tessa, Bessie the Tessie. We got Tootie the Tutnauer. Right. These are optional. What does an autoclave do? One more level. Sterilize. So you got cleaning, which is soap and water. Then you got disinfecting and sanitizing, which is your, wipes or using the barbicide. But sterilizing is when everything dies. Everything. Nothing can survive. You're putting it in an oven, right? Nothing can survive. So that's like the highest level of clean. Who uses autoclaves? Can you think of anyone? Speaking of which, tomorrow, y'all know I got to go get my tooth done. We leave a little early tomorrow. The dentist. Right? The dentist. Who else? Doctors. At University Hospital, I don't know what they call it now, Augusta, whatever they call it. At University Hospital, down in the basement, they've got an autoclave you can fit 6-7 human bodies in. That's how big it is. The trays, they put all those trays. Think about it when you go to the lady doctor and they pull that metal thing out. Now they have plastic ones. They used to use metal ones. But every surgery, when they do surgery, they don't throw away those implements. They sanitize them and clean them first, sanitize them next, and then sterilize them. You would not want the dentist to pull out a dental tool out of their pocket and start digging in your mouth. So they use autoclaves. How confident do you feel when you see a nail tech pull something out of an autoclave? Me personally, I feel really, really confident, especially if I know they're trained to use it. And you do have to have training to use that. That is advanced training when you guys do the A&T course. If you're interested, that's what you're going to be learning how to use. Okay. Now, those autoclaves, y'all seen them sterilizer packs, haven't you? You know what I'm talking about? Honey, will you go in my office? Inside one, there's these white box that says sterilizer packs. I want you guys to be well informed. I'm going to show you something real quick. How often have you seen, and when you go into the nail salon and they come out, they bring out this pack that they rip it open and pull out your buffer, your file, your nail clippers, all that stuff, right? What do you think that means? That they sterilized it. No, this is sterilizing. That means that they got one of those. How many have you ever seen one of those? in your nail salon. You know why? That costs $7,000. I had to have it in order to open this school, or not to open the school, but to teach the A&T program. I couldn't teach it without having one in the school. So you've seen these before, right? You've seen these before. What do they normally put in them? Dirty or clean? Well, you think everything in there is clean, right? If your nail tech pulls this out and it's got a buffer, a plastic buffer in it, what did I just say that was?
That plastic.
So if you red flag. If you your nail tech opens this up and it is sealed and it has a buffer, a file, a pumice stone, anything that is not metal in it, did it go into the autoclave? No, it did not. It did not. It cannot. It would melt, right? So a lot of nail techs, which I think is the most asinine thing to do, but I hear it all the time, as this is their excuse, right? They'll say, oh, well, I clean my implements and then I put them in here. I'm like, but why? You know how much this costs. Why are you wasting that money? And you're misleading me, because I know what a sterilizer does. So once you take it out of that sterilizer and put it in, take it out of the barbicide, touch it, and put it in this pack, is it disinfected? No, it's not. It's dirty. So now you just put something that you sanitized, touched it, let the air hit it, and put it in here, and made me, a medical professional who knows what this is, think that it was sterilized when now it is dirty and festering germs inside this bag. That's misleading. And people will argue with me and say, well, I cleaned it and sanitized it, and then I put it in here to store it. Why? Put it in your clean, disinfected implements box with a label on it, because now I know that it has been sanitized and disinfected, not sterilized. That's misleading. And a waste of money. This box right here is $20, $30 for this box of sterilizer packs. Okay. Another way that you can tell when something has been sterilized, because I am going to look at it. Because, I just, petty like that. Let me see that bag real quick. Give this to Jasmine real quick. When you look at that bag, this is how you'll know if it's been sterilized. There's a little indicator arrow on there. What does that say, Jasmine?
When steam sterilized, arrow turns brown.
What color is that arrow right now?
Blue.
Blue. When it's been through the whole cycle of sterilization, it will turn what color?
Brown.
Brown. So if you have a nail tech that sits in front of you and pulls out, first of all, one of these and it's got buffers in it, you already know it ain't went through cycle, right? But if it does for some reason have nothing but metal implements in it, because they store their implements in it, what color will that arrow be? If they did not sterilize it, it's going to be blue. Also, when this goes through the cycle, what did it say? When steam sterilized. So what does paper look like when it gets wet? Wrinkled, busted. That bag gonna look busted. It's gonna look like it went through war. Okay? When it comes out of a sterilizer. If it come out like this, all pristine and clean and clear, ain't went through no sterilizer, baby. Because they'll say, oh, it's in the back. Really? Let me see it. I want to see it. Can I see it? No. So this right here, another gimmick that nail techs use sometimes. And a lot of them, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of them just don't know no better. But now you know. Okay? Now you know. So y'all be careful, because some nail techs especially if they don't own the salon. This is why I don't want to have a salon. You know how it is when people are working for you and you just riding the clock, just sitting in the back on your lunch break. You're supposed to be 15 minutes. You in there back there an hour. I used to have a coworker say he didn't use the bathroom at home. He only uses the bathroom at work so he could get paid $40 an hour to do it. When he was an RN I worked with, he was hilarious. He was like, I don't do number 2 at home. I save it for work. I'm like, why, Key? Why? He's like, because I get paid $40 an hour to take a poo. I was like, you know what? I'm just glad that I'm not the CEO. As a business owner, you think about things a lot differently.
I think about how bad of an employee I was.
Oh, yeah. Man, University Hospital just don't know how many pieces of paper I got, printed off when I was in school. I'm printing off my whole book right there at the front desk. Now that I buy paper every day, for you guys, when I'm printing off, so I'm like, man, this box of paper is $60. I know they hated me. But you think about things a little bit different. But when you know better, we do better. Okay? So there's no excuse in this right here. I get real annoyed when I see that. Because I know how much I paid for mine. I'm like, where yours at? Oh, you think so you're just gonna get away with making people think that you got a sterilizer in the back when you don't. Just finessing folks. Right? Alright. So everybody know what a autoclave is. Can you now identify when something has been through an autoclave? Can you now identify when something has not been through an autoclave? Okay, very good. All right. Electric hand mitts, foot mitts, those are those plastic mitts that we put on the client's hands. It's just an added service, it's a bonus. All right, something that you add on to the service. Just, I usually will do it if I have a client who is waiting for another client to finish. Maybe I'm just one nail tech. Both of them came to get their feet done. The other one I might have sitting there in the other chair just getting the paraffin wax with the warm mitts on there. Okay? What is paraffin wax, you guys? You ever seen it before? You probably have in the nail salon, but never had it done. That white, it literally is just like a, what is that thing you cook food in and you can leave it open? Crock pot. It's like a crock pot. It's literally like a crock pot, and it's next to the autoclave on the table up there behind the pedicure chairs. Y'all see that white thing? Yeah. So if we put paraffin wax in there, you can buy it by a block. It's like a block of candle wax that's not melted. And you put it in there and it heats up. Warms, it gets like liquid. And you dip the client's hand in there. However, that's not how you're supposed to do it. Is that clean and sanitary to just take someone's raw hand and dip it into some wax and dip it in there again over and over again? Is that clean? Heck no, it's not. So there's different ways you can apply it. What we do is we either take a little scoop. That's why there's a little scoop right there. We scoop some into a plastic bag, which we have bags made specifically for this. And then you put the client's hand in the bag and then you rub the paraffin wax all over their hand. And it feels so good. It feels so good. Then you would put one of those mitts over it just so you can sit there and just let it soak into your hands. There's other ways to apply it. We also have the paper towel method where we take a paper towel, dip it into the wax, and then wrap the paper towel around the client's hand. Put it in the plastic bag. Put the plastic bag covered hand into the hot mitt. Then there's brush on wax. So many different ways to do it. But just like we don't dip our clients' fingers into the dip acrylic. That's unsanitary. We're not dipping nobody's hands in my good wax. Okay? So that is also something that's done incorrectly in the nail salons. You will see, and I've seen this before, they'll take the wax, put it on your hand after they dipped it in there, and then let it sit, and then peel it off and put the old wax back in the wax container. Baby, that wax, that whole pack of wax, that whole container costs $10. You charge the client $10. Why are you reusing the dirty wax? That's gross. I told y'all, when y'all came in here, the very first day, what did I tell you? To forget everything that you think you know about nails. Because right now, y'all looking real like, because y'all seen it. Y'all seen this stuff done before. You know it goes down. It goes down in the nail salon. Don't go down with it, okay? The state requires that paraffin is meant for single use. Throw it away. You're making all this money off of clients and you're reusing paraffin wax? Come on now, can't do that. Now let's talk about ventilation systems. What is a ventilation system? What does it mean to ventilate?
Get to refresh the air. Basically.
Right, refreshing the air, circulating the air. So for instance, whenever I open this school, they want to see that you have a ventilation system. What's a ventilation system? The air conditioning. The air is moving. Okay? If we were sitting in a cinder block room with no windows, no nothing, that ain't gonna work. They'd be like, no, you got something. You got to have windows, doors, something to ventilate the room. Because in some salons, you will pass out from the odor. Just the odor alone. But a ventilation system also is filtering out the air. So these dust, what's an example of a ventilation system that you guys have seen in the nail industry?
I've seen kind of like the picture with the thing on
What's
the
that
side.
called?
It looks like a humidifier.
It looks like a humidifier, right? So that in particular is known as the sunflower. They have the sunflower. This one goes on the top of your desk and it sucks the air, the dust up into it. Okay. This is an Avarex system right here. It's about $1,000, I want to say, for the one that has 2 arms on it, and it sits in between your desk and you can move it and it sucks up all the dust. I really like that one. It's just big and bulky. Now you have the Valentino. We have 4 of them back there. We got them. But guess what you need to have to make them work? Filter. A filter. The Valentino itself is $400. But guess how much the filters are? They're $50, $60 for a 12 pack. And you go through 1 or 2 a day if you are one every other day or so if you're a busy nail tech. I got 4 of them back there. I used to work for the company. They gave me one every year when we worked at the shows. And guess what? They're big, bulky, and you got to have the filters to make them work. Another thing they do is they suck the dust down, which is good because the ones that are like with the big hoses, if they're above you, where's it sucking the dust up? Up in the air. Where's my breathing zone? Right? So it's sucking the air up and right into my nose. I'm breathing right up. So you want it to be something it's a downdraft, right? But with the Valentinos, I love them. Except for the fact that what doesn't go down into the downdraft gets blown out the side. So where would I have? I didn't have dust in front of me, but I had dust all over everything else in the whole salon. So I really prefer to just let it fall onto a towel, take the towel, throw it in the trash can, dust it off, and get a fresh new one every time I do a client. It's just easier. And I'm talking about 25 years of experience here. I've had them all. The best extraction system that I had, I made it with a shop vac. Had the hole, I took the shop vac and I put the shop vac in my closet. This is when I had my room in my house. I took the doorknob off, so there's a hole where the doorknob goes, right? Put the hose through the doorknob, got an extra long hose, and I would just let the hose, I had it clamped to my table, and I would just turn it on while I was working, and it would just, and I had it pointed right here on my table. It sucked every bit of dust ever. And then the sound, I couldn't hear it because it was in the little closet in my room. $25. 1 gallon shop vac. And that's what I had. And it was the best $25 I ever spent. And I done spent $400, $500,000 on maintaining that Valentino every year. Keeping it was just too much. Love the company, love the owner, great friends. Just too much to maintain. It's like having a Porsche or a BMW. They real nice, but when you pay that $500 for an oil change, when you used to go to Jiffy Lube for $30, you be like, you know what? Let me drive my Jeep today. Okay, maintenance is important with those types of machines. Okay, so remember though, you should be using a mask when you're filing. You should be covering up your breathing zone. Too much of anything is bad for you. Okay, too much of anything. You can get water poisoning, drinking too much water at one time. All right. So if you're going to be doing 5-6 sets of nails a day, please wear a mask to cover you from breathing all that dust, with or without an extractor. Okay. You don't want to be breathing all that dust. Can't be good for you. All right. Now, let's talk about the implements that we use during the nail service. We have moved on to page 142. What's the difference between multi-use and single-use? Multi-use obviously can be used multiple times, right? And it can be sanitized or sterilized. Because you can use plastic implements over and over again, but can they be, like for instance, your nail brush, that nylon brush, cannot go in the sterilizer, but it can be sanitized. All right, so keep that in mind. There are different multi-use implements that can either be sanitized and disinfected or sterilized. Some can be both, because your metal implements, again, can be sanitized, and that's perfectly fine. Sterilization is an added bonus. Now, single-use implements means one-time use, one per client. Throw it away. Okay. Now, before we talk about what single-use implements are, let's talk about multi-use implements. What's an example of a multi-use implement?
Nippers.
A metal pusher, right? Nippers. What's another one? Tweezers. What'd you say, baby? Nail brushes? What, like your acrylic brushes? Yeah, you're definitely going to reuse that, but you're not going to sanitize, disinfect it, and like immerse it in disinfect. You would clean it off with a wipe, right? Clean the handle off and that kind of stuff. All of those are multi-use, can be reused with either sanitation or sterilization. What is a single-use implement that is single-use?
The buffer.
Buffer. Very good. What's another one? Sanding band. Yes. Those should not be reused from client to client. That's why we sell them in packs 100. What you about to say?
I ain't know that.
You didn't know that?
Because when I go to the nail salon, I don't see them change.
You don't never see them change it. Think about it. What's it doing?
Spreading germs everywhere.
Well, yeah, it's doing that. Spreading germs everywhere. Right? Spreading germs everywhere. It is porous, okay? Why is something single use? Because what does porous mean?
Absorbent.
Absorbent, right? So a nail file is going to absorb every bit of oil, every bit of blood, every micro trauma that you cause on that client. It's going to absorb it. So it needs to be thrown away. What is something else that is a single use implement that should be thrown away? Obviously. Nail tips. Oh, well, you ain't gonna reuse no nail tips. Cotton balls, right? Cotton balls, Q-tips. I thought you said Q-tips. Hand file, yes. Yes, absolutely, Deasia. Think about, so you guys have seen the nail files I like to use, right?
Okay, give me some of those. The one you just tear it off.
These are my favorite files in life. Why?
Because they don't always bend.
They don't bend, first of all. And look at that. This is to be thrown away with every client. Every client. Throw it away. Disposable nail files. And this right here can be what? Sanitized. It's plastic. So you can put it in your barbicide or you can wipe it down with a sanitizing wipe, okay? This right here, it's a brand new one. It definitely bends. I mean, you can bend it and break it. But should this be reused from client to client? No. You guys, they sell these in packs of 500, 100, and they are $17 for 100. If you're charging $60, $70 for a set of nails, you can afford to throw away a piece of a file with every client. Here's another thing, you guys. A lot of nail techs do that they don't realize should not be done. Back when I was before I was a nail tech and I was getting my nails done, we used to go to the nail salon and they would have the boxes, the necklace boxes or the bracelet boxes, and they would store the file, the buffer, and the pusher or whatever in there, and they put a number on it. And they would say, this is your box if you were a regular client. What did I just say that this was after you use it? It is dirty and you dispose of it. What if you had a fungus or an infection the last time you came, and I put this in a box in a dark, cool, dry place so they can grow some more fungus and grow, and then you come back the next time and you're cured, and then you come back and I just give it right back to you. I see it all the time. One of my students, I had to check her. I saw she was making boxes and putting buffers and stuff and reusing it on the same client. That's not, it is disposable and single use. Single, not single use on the same person over and over again. Single use, period. Throw it away. Throw it away. What else needs to be thrown away? Buffers, wooden pushers. The wooden pushers, and that's why I like using them. I like disposable stuff because I get annoyed when I have to sit there and sanitize all these implements over and over again. It takes time. So if I can find a disposable anything, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna use it. Okay. So keep that in mind. What else is disposable and meant for single use? Look at the things that are in this picture right here. The gloves. Y'all, gloves are single use, okay? And if you take them off and have it on and put it right back on with the same, it's still single use. Throw it away. You get a box of 100 gloves, cost you $8. You need to put a new glove on with every client. And when COVID came around, I just was, y'all know I got a medical background, and it just used to get on my nerves. You'd see the people they have on. Look, this is what they did. This is what they did, and you see it all the time, right? Look, they got the gloves on. They go into the grocery store, and they still doing it. They got a set of gloves on their hands, and they pushing around the cart, and they got their phone in their hand with their gloves on it, touching it. Put the phone right in their purse. Or they pick up the phone with their gloved hands on and touch their face. Or they're picking up their groceries with their gloved hand. What are you doing? Spreading everything everywhere. At the end of the day, you're better to go naked with your hands and just carry around hand sanitizer and wash your hands. And just don't touch your face. Don't touch your mouth. Because what is a gloved hand touching your mouth and your nose? What? The stupidest thing I ever seen in my life. But you can't tell folks nothing. And I'd be looking at them like, are you crazy? You got gloves on, you think you protecting. You're not protecting anybody. It's literally like having a second pair of hands. You're protecting your hands, but then you take your gloves off and you touch the hands with the glove. When I worked in the hospital, when we went in every patient's room, they would say, glove in, glove out, or sanitize in, sanitize out. They had a hand sanitizer on the wall before you went in the room, and there was a sanitizer pushing thing right by the door before you went out. Because when you go in a client's room, they teach you this, a patient's room. You sanitize your hands before you go in, you enter the room, wash your hands, put on a pair of gloves, deal with that patient with those gloves, take the gloves off, throw them away, sanitize your hands before you go out of the room, open the door, and then sanitize your hands again when you go hit the door, out the door. When you do your state board, the very first thing you do before you open any bag, before you touch anything, before you even touch a client, is you got to wipe this table down. But what do I need to have on my hands before I wipe the table down? Right, and think about it. Why? Why am I sanitizing a dirty table with my clean hand? You're just wasting good sanitizing wipe. You gotta have your hands gloved, or you're just transferring germs. You're just transferring the germs. Okay? So, me personally, I want to see my nail tech do all this. I want to see you open up a brand new file or put a brand new file on my file. I want to see you throw away that buffer and bring out a new one. That makes me feel extra protected, right? So gloves are a big thing that people just, I don't know what they're doing, especially with COVID. And when COVID hit, there was a lot of, nail techs are nasty and and hair salons and all that stuff. Baby, we've been doing all this stuff. We have been wearing gloves, wearing masks, wearing sanitizer. This is part of our state board. I took the state board 20 years ago in 2006. Ain't nothing changed. Nothing. They just added a couple of things to it, like the soak off. But at the end of the day, the sanitation has been the same. We have to have the same regulations as dentists and doctors and all that stuff. But there's so many nasty nail techs out here, make me wonder about my doctor sometimes. I'm like, well, where did you get your training? Because this is not how it's supposed to be done. So everybody understand what the difference is between multi-use, single-use, disposable, non-disposable implements. Okay, very good. All right. Oops, we went back. I got this in the back, wrong direction. Uh-oh, what did I just do? All right. Now, we talked about gloves. Now we talked about the dust mask, abrasive files and buffers, two-way and three-way buffers. You guys, two-way and three-way buffers, those are, you see these in the book on page 147. We don't really use those much in the professional industry because they have that rubber. You usually see those in like the Dollar Tree, or they come in a manicuring kit. I've never really used those in the professional industry. Okay, and for those of you that have never seen one, I'm pretty sure I got one in here somewhere. I just I don't like to use them. Here they are. Here they are. Y'all seen these? You got your step 1. First of all, you don't need steps, do you? Step 1, step 2, step 3, 3-way, 4-way buffers. Not really a professional thing to me. But use what you want. All right. So let's talk about grit real quick, because this is a good example of grit. So step 1 here, this grit, smoother than this one. This one is finer, and then you get into almost a rubber like. When we're talking about grit, all right, when we talk about files and buffers and things of that nature, this right here, this file, this is an 80 grit on one side, 100 grit on the other. Which one is more coarse?
100.
We got 2 answers here. Which one is right, Selena? 80 or 100? Which one is the coarser, 80 or 100? Nope. So it's confusing. The lower the number, the coarser the file. So an 80 grit is going to be harder than a 100 grit. Right here it says 240 grit. Ooh, that's real high. What is this one? Coarse or fine? Fine. High number, smooth. Low number, coarse. Okay? Rough. Very rough. So a 240 is going to be basically a buffer to give you a shine, okay? Whereas an 80, you could take the hide off somebody's foot with it. That's what we use these for, is to scrub the bottom of people's feet with a dry pedicure, okay? And we'll get to that when we get to the pedicure section. But everybody understand that, okay? Those buffers, this is the reason I don't like these, because remember, this is what? Is this multi or single use? Right, look at all this. We're going to throw this costs about $2-3. If you buy it in Sally's, which Sally's, y'all, as much as it is a professional store and you can buy professional products, I wish they would close to the public. They used to be. They used to be closed to the public. But you can buy these, and they say that this is for personal use. But it's in a professional store where you buy stuff to use on your clients. The only thing I buy out of there is stuff that I'm using for myself. I would never buy anything in there. It's really not. This has to be thrown away after each client, right?
Waste. Has that foot pedicure thing in there.
Yep. Yep. But so do the nail supply stores, though.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah. When we were in the nail supply yesterday. I went live. They had 5-6 different types of pedicure scrub. The callus remover things with the razor blades and the Credo cheese graters. I was trying to whisper because I didn't want nobody telling me to put me out the store, but I was like, these are illegal. Do not use these. Illegal. Okay. All right. What about linens? Are they single use or multi-use?
Multi.
However,
single per day, I would say.
There you go. They're both. They're single use per client, but multi-use because we can wash them. And please get white towels, y'all.
White towels. Okay.
Why?
Check. So you can tell if they're dirty.
And you can bleach them.
Oh, yeah.
So I know they're clean. I'm sorry. I just don't, because you got all this foot dust and foot cheese and all that stuff on this towel. You're going to take it and throw it in that dirty linen thing. I'm going to need you to bleach that. And if you got pretty pink or teal towels and all that stuff, you ain't bleached that. And if you do, they're not going to be that color for long. Okay. Now, decorative towels and stuff like it specifically for your salon color, what I say is use those to dry off the legs. Use that specifically to do the manicure, so that way you can, it's not all that foot stuff and everything all over your nice towels. I want them disinfected, meaning bleached. Okay. So I prefer a white towel, but you do what you want to do. What about paper towels? Single use, multi-use? Single use. Cotton balls, gauze, pledgets, plastic back pads, they're all single use. One of my favorite things to use at this nail table are puppy pads. You know what I'm talking about? The ones you dog train your dog with.
I've been
Oh no, go to Sam's, honey. You can get a box of 100 of them, 150 of them for like $10.
Yeah, because they like $10.
Don't you get the one? You get the ones from the nail supply, and they're $9.99 for 50, and they're little, small, and I usually cut those into 4s and use them to wipe my nail brush on, but. I love those, especially when doing pedicures or when I drape it over my client, this right here, okay? And think about it. You got to spend money to make money. And if you want to do things properly, you got to do it the clean way, the sanitized way, right? I love those things. What about plastic, wooden, and metal spatulas? Can we sanitize? Which ones can we sanitize? Plastic and
wooden, metal.
Metal. Wooden, remember wood absorbs water. So we're going to throw that out. For example, whenever you go to the nail salon and they're waxing people's faces. Because the first thing they ask me, you want your lip wax? I'm like, excuse me? Do I look like I need? And I'll be looking like, dang, maybe I do. But when they're going in there and they're double dipping, you don't want nobody double dipping their chip into your dip, do you? Biting a piece and then going back in. What's the difference when you dip it into a wax container and you don't throw away the stick after every time you dip? So when you see these Waxing. First of all, is waxing legal to do in a nail salon? Unless you're a what? Esthetician. So that's another red flag. If you're going into a nail salon and they're doing eyelashes, waxing, plucking, any of that, and you don't see an esthetician license hanging on the wall, run. Okay? Run in another direction. Guarantee you, there's nobody in their license. Because I ain't working in a place where it's unlicensed people working. I don't want that stigma. I don't want them to think, oh, well, she's unlicensed, she licensed. No, everybody's supposed to be licensed. Everybody. One license does not equal 6. One license does not cover the whole salon. I don't care what nobody told you. The wooden implements, when you, how many times have you gone to a nail salon and got a pedicure and there's a big container of scrub just sitting on the supply thing like this and they just, how many, all the time. All the time. They just scooping their hand in there. Is that clean? Is that sanitary? No. So what you can use is wooden sticks to get whatever out of there, get what you need, and then what do you do with the wooden stick? Throw it in the garbage. It's trash. Okay? So never use the same spatula to remove products out of one container over and over again. Okay? Or even if you are using a spatula that is metal or plastic, it goes in one time and it's going to be used for that particular product. But you're not going to, if it's just laying outside, just hanging around, what's happened to it? Getting dirty. So I just say, like what I tell y'all about this disposable stuff, just use disposable stuff all the time. So you don't feel like, oh, let me go wash this plastic, spatula because now I got to dip it into something else. That's some aggravation. Prepackaged things are much easier too. You get those pedicure packs now where you can pick your scent and pick the lotion. It's all in one little pack. So much easier than trying to disperse scrub and mask and all that stuff separately. And when you can just have it all in one pack. Okay? Now, what about soap? What do you need soap for in a manicure? Please, please, please have your client wash their hands before they sit down and hold yours.
Is it being extra? Wash your hands and put hand sanitizer on.
I wouldn't say it's being extra, but I will tell you that hand sanitizer is one of the biggest gimmicks in the industry. No, let's talk about it. What are the levels of disinfecting? First and foremost, you have to clean. Y'all know I like to use poo as an example of everything. All right. I see it all the time when we go out to eat, and I always laugh. I always giggle a little bit because you're always with somebody that has some hand sanitizer in their purse. Right? Sit down and let's just say you're at McDonald's and you see a mom with 5 kids, 5, 6, 7 kids. I don't care, 1 kid. First thing they do is they say, "Wait. Hold on, Johnny. Let me sanitize your hands." Right into your hand. Didn't wash the hand, didn't do nothing. So let's just say little Johnny just got finished digging in his butt. Because that's what kids do. Especially boys, digging in their butt. And you sit down at the table and you're about to eat. And he's got, little poo on his hands. You take hand sanitizer. Are you going to let him eat with his hands? Just because he just rubbed poo all over his hands with hand sanitizer. Now he has sanitizer-scented poo hands. Right? So what do you need to do first? Wash your hands. You must wash your hands. Hand sanitizer is the biggest gimmick out there. Because if your hands are dirty, you've got to wash them first. And then sanitize them. Yeah. But it's just there's levels to clean. There's levels to sanitation. There's levels to sterilization. You don't just take a I wouldn't take a poo covered metal implement and throw it in that sanitizer. What's going to be on it when I come out? It's just going to be cooked poo. Ain't it? Think about it. It used to get on my nerves too. My mom be like, wash the dishes before you put them in the dish. I'm like, what's the point of that? It's just going to get washed in the dishwasher, right?
Yeah.
But think about it. You got a big old chunk of something in it. It's still going to be on the fork. It's still going to be on mashed potatoes on your spoon. You got to get the mashed potatoes off. I got a $700 dishwasher. And that dishwasher, you must pre-clean. They tell you in the directions, you must pre-clean it. What is the point? I didn't have a dishwasher for a long time because of that. I was like, hell, I got to wash the dishes anyway. They come out dirty if you don't.
You don't have to wash them. You have to rinse
Oh, no, you got to wash them. You got to scrub out. If I got to do any extra work, I might as well just put them in the little thing and just let it drain out and dry and put them up later, right? Think about it. So what's the difference with your hands? Hand sanitizer, biggest gimmick out there. All it is alcohol with some jellified alcohol. And if you don't clean your hands first, then it's useless. You got poo hands. Poo hands. That's what you got. So, using hand sanitizer after you clean your hands, perfectly good, works just fine. But to sit there at the table and just disinfect your hands without washing them is a waste of time. Your whole world will change after you take this course. How you clean, how you think, how you sanitize, how you wash. The way I clean my house is totally different after teaching this course for as long as I have. Okay? So, soap. Make sure you are using infection control, antibacterial soap in your salons. Yes, I know. They have a sale at Bath and Body Works on the lemon scented, or the hibiscus flower soap, and you want to put it in your bathroom. Please get the antibacterial soap, because half these people don't know how to wash their hands. You don't know how to wash your hands, and I will bet you money on that. We're going to do an exercise, okay, to show that you don't know how to wash your hands. Y'all ever seen the doctors in the movies? Scrubbing for 30 minutes before they do a surgery? How long do you scrub your hands? Do you scrub your hands? Do you have a nail brush at your sink? No. You do? Good for you. But you still don't know how to wash your hands.
I do it
We
because
do.
of wearing nails.
We do this exercise, and everybody always has something left on their hands. And at the end of the day, you're not going to get it all off all the time. Okay? But you should try your best. Your best. Because if you're going to go cut open my stomach and fillet me open and dig in my belly, and you're a surgeon and you got a speck of poo on your hands, I'm going to be upset. See what I'm saying? They go through a training on how to scrub in for surgery. Now, I ain't telling you your clients got to go in there and scrub in, but you should have a jar, not a jar. You should not have a jar. You should have a nail brush, a sanitized one, in your hand, handing it to your client when they go to wash their hands with antibacterial soap at the station for them to wash. Scrubbing. Okay? What about this? What about the jar of the nail brushes and barbicide sitting beside the sink? What's that about?
Inside the sink.
What's that about? So you go to the nail salon and there's a jar with all those little nylon brushes in there, in some blue water. You think it's what? You think that's barbicide, right? Disinfectant solution. So I'm gonna take my poo hands. I'm gonna pull out one of those those nylon brushes, and I'm gonna wash my hand. And maybe I'll wash my hand real good. Then I'm just gonna rinse it off, tap it off, and put it right back in there. No. No, 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 no. No. That is not correct. You should have a jar or a drawer full of clean ones. Hand one to a client. Wash your hands. Scrub it up. Tap it off, rinse it off, and then where does it go? In a to be disinfected container so that you can clean the poo off of it and clean it and then sanitize it again and then put it in your clean drawer. Do you understand this? What the cycle that I'm giving you here? There is no such thing as, oh, I just washed my hands with it, so now it's clean. Do you washed your behind with a washcloth this morning? Are you going to wash your face with it tomorrow?
Face cloth, ass cloth.
She said face cloth, ass cloth, right? But he'll tell you, he only thing I want in this world is 7 towels and 7 washcloths. That's all he asks for
Per
from
day.
me. 1 per day. White ones at that. Because that's how you're going to know that it's clean. Okay? So you wouldn't do it with you going to do it with a stranger? Would you hand a stranger your face cloth? Or would you hand me your face cloth or your ass cloth and say, here you go? That's exactly what you're doing in that nasty container. It's an ass cloth that you handed to your client from the last client. I hate to be so graphic, but it is what it is. Does it not make sense to you now?
Yeah.
Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Yep, I'll pick it up.
Okay. You're going to be looking at that cloth going, did I wash my face with this? All
I
right.
have it color coded.
Right. And that's smart. You got your black cloths for your makeup, right? Because I be so, I'm like, dang, you know you didn't wash your face good when you get out to shut your hour and you dry your face off and you still got makeup on. You like, and then you done messed up your white towels. Because I know I wear makeup every day. So, all right. So what about polish remover? Let's talk about it. This is one of the things that we use in a manicure. Polish remover is different from acetone. Okay? What's the difference, ladies?
According to this, acetone and non-acetone.
Right. So you've got non-acetone. Now, polish remover does have a little bit of acetone in it. Okay? In your cases, we have the pink polish remover, and then the acetone is clear. Acetone will soak off, will remove all your sins. Literally. If you pour acetone on anything plastic, or maybe even it has paint on it, this table, let it lay on this table for too long, it will take the skin off of the polish off of it. Okay? It will take the paint off of it. So that's why having a table that is acetone resistant or putting some type of covering glass or something like that will keep you from ruining your table. But what do we use acetone to remove? Nails. What kind of nails? Acrylic, right? So it will soak off acrylic. It will soak off anything plastic, okay? And remember, I want you guys to remember this. Acrylic is just a hard plastic, okay? I know it feels like a concrete or something like that, but it's literally a hard plastic. This is acrylic. It's plastic, but it's real hard. It ain't bendy. It's just an acrylic, an acrylate, okay? Now, polish remover, the reason you guys use it in your kits for the manicure is because we're just doing natural nails. There's no need to soak off anything, okay? So, acetone-based and non-acetone-based are different. We refer to the non-acetone-based as polish remover because we're just removing polish. Acetone, removing nails, acrylic nails, soaking off. Now, is acetone harmful to your body? If I let you soak in acetone for 3 hours, which is what people have to do when they've got that MMA on their nails, is it going to hurt you? Will it hurt you? Anybody know? Just Yes or no? What you think? I mean, we put our hands in it.
That's what I was about to say. I would say no because we put our hands in it, but I don't
Too
know
much
about.
of anything.
Well, when it comes to acetone, we actually have acetone in our blood. When I was a medic and I worked in the ER, we had a test called an acetone test. See what your acetone levels were. So we actually, it's not like you can drink it. Please don't drink it. But there is certain levels of it in your body. And at the end of the day, Doug Schoon, remember I told you about Doug Schoon? He did an experiment. He took nail clippings, his own, put them in a jar of acetone, and left it there for a year. What do you think happened when he took it out? It was still good. The nails were still flexible. They didn't just disintegrate. So it's not going to hurt you. It's not one of those things that is toxic to your body or it will hurt you. Now it does make your skin feel dry. Dries it out. But at the end of the day, your skin is going to rejuvenate that oil right back, right? It feels kind of funny when you put your hands in it, right? It gets cold. You feel like if you blow on it, it feels real icy cold. It's a chemical. That's what it does. But it's not toxic to you. Now, like I said, don't go drinking it. But it's not going to hurt you to soak your nails in acetone, okay? Now, what I do not want y'all to do, and I promise you I will have a whole fit if I see you do it, is pour acetone down my sinks. It is a corrosive. It will melt plastic. That sink looks different from the rest of them. The one closest to me, it's got a new drain on it. You know why? Because somebody put acetone down my sink. You know that thing, it goes down. So it just sat there in that plastic tube down there. And guess what happened? Ate right through it. Water just, I'm like, why I hear water just splashing all down into the bottom of the sink? Because somebody put acetone. Do not put acetone down the sink. How do we dispose of acetone?
Put it in a
You better not let OSHA see you do that. I mean, you can let it evaporate because it evaporates, right? Or soak it up with a paper towel, let it soak up, and it'll dry really quickly, and then throw it in the garbage. Okay? Now, acetone will evaporate if you let it sit out into the air. So you can't just pour it outside into like grass or anything like, because it'll kill you grass. It will. Okay? Everybody understand the difference between acetone and non-acetone, or polish remover and acetone? Okay, good. What about nail creams, lotions, and oils? What are we using those for? A manicure, right? When we're doing what are we using it for?
Dry skin.
Dry skin, yes. Okay. What is it helping us do when we are putting it on? Because you're not going to just give it to your client, squirt it in their hand and say, here you go, girl. Massage. It provides a slip for our massage. So when we're doing our massage, we're able to go up and down them hands. Ain't nothing worse than trying to, it's like give you an Indian rug burn when you're trying to do it up a dry arm, right? So you want to have a nice lotion or cream, oil to do the massage, all right? Now, cuticle removers, what are they for?
removing the pain.
So y'all remember that cuticle is dry and dead on the nail plate. And sometimes when you're pushing it and scrubbing it off, it don't want to move, does it? Sometimes it's like, I ain't going nowhere. Because remember, it used to be alive. What was it called before it turned into cuticle? The keratinized proximal nail fold is the skin that's attached to your body. The what? The eponychium. Remember, it was the vampire living up under the proximal nail fold. It's that layer of cells that's under there growing out. And as soon as it hit the air and saw the sun, what do vampires do? die, dry up, shrivel, turn to a pile of dust. That's what cuticle is. But sometimes it's stuck down on the nail plate and we can't really get it off good without soaking it in the water. That's the purpose of soaking the nails in the water. So what do we put on there to help it come off even easier? Because remember, we don't cut cuticle. It don't need to be cut. It's dead. It will come off. But sometimes we need to assist it a little bit. And that's when we use cuticle remover. Okay? That's when we use cuticle remover. So cuticle remover is going to loosen and dissolve the dead tissue. It does not need to go on the living skin, which is called what, Deasia? You said it. PNF, or proximal nail fold. It doesn't need to go there. You can soften your skin all day long. It's not going to fall off, is it? If I lotion my skin, it ain't going to fall off, is it? But if something is dead, like dead skin or flaky skin, if I lotion it or soften it, it will fall off, right? Or exfoliate it. It's the same thing with cuticles. Look at y'all looking at your nails. I just love it. They like, yep, I see it. I see it, right? So, does not need to be put all over the skin. You don't need to be putting cuticle remover all up here. It just goes on the cuticle, which is on the what? Which part of the nail is the cuticle on top of? The nail plate. All right, so that's where cuticle remover goes. All right, then we're going to have our colored polish, enamel, lacquer, or varnish. All of those are the same thing. Now, colored polish, enamel, lacquer, and varnish, those are words we use for regular nail polish, meaning the kind that is not gel. Okay? Colored coatings are applied to the natural nail plate. That's what polish is for. All right? Now, gel polish, totally different. Different animal, same family. Just like you got Chihuahuas and you got Labs. They all what? Dogs, right? Okay, so gel polish is still a polish, but it's a different type of polish. Nail polish, lacquer, or varnish, if you get it on the skin, it ain't going to really hurt you. You're not going to have some type of chemical reaction or something like that that will cause you to, to be allergic to it, generally, unless you're just sensitive to stuff. But you would have to remove that from the skin with acetone or alcohol after when you've gotten it on the skin. Gel polish, if you do not remove it from the skin or if you get it on the skin, you can get what's known as overexposure and cause a allergic reaction or an allergy to the product. You become allergic to gel polish, then what you gonna do as a nail tech? What happens if you become allergic to the products you use every day to make money? Better find a new profession or find another way. And a lot of people, that means not doing nails at all. Gel polishes, there are several different kinds. They have hybrid gels, okay? Hybrid gels are going to be those gel polishes that kind of combine both worlds, the best of both worlds. An example of one would be a Vinylux. Anybody ever seen Vinylux, the brand? It dries by the air, but it has the look of a gel polish. Okay, very shiny, and usually only needs one coat. Okay. Now, what is base coat? Now we're not talking about gel polish anymore. We've gotten away from that. What is base coat? What is a base coat?
I don't know. I guess it helps the polish stick to the natural nail.
Very good. What I want you guys to remember is base coat is only necessary on natural nails. Okay? So when you go and you buy these duos, like, base coat and top coat, if you're not doing natural nails or gel polish on natural nails, let's just say you only do acrylics. You don't need a base coat, do you? Because the gel is going to stick to the acrylic. Now, if you're doing gel nails, that's a different story. We're talking about base coat. In your kits, you have a green bottle of base coat. It's green. Okay? Base coat is necessary to prevent staining. So have you ever seen like ladies with like yellow looking nails but they wear red all the time? It's probably because they're not using a good base coat. The stain from the dye and the polish, or the pigments in the polish, is staining their natural nail. Your nail is porous, remember? So base coat is going to keep the polish from staining your natural nail. Now, it's also like a double-sided sticky tape. You know how you got that tape where it sticks on both sides? Remember, slick to slick does not stick, right? So if you got base coat and it's sticky on both sides, you lay that next coat of polish on top of it, it's probably not going to chip as easily as it would if you didn't use a base coat. So base coat is kind of necessary with natural nails, especially with gel polish. Okay? So a base coat, that everybody understand what the difference is between a base coat and a top coat. Well, what does a top coat do? Goes over the polish, and what is it doing? It's sealing in that polish. And also, anybody ever polished your nails and didn't use a top coat? What did the polish look like? Dull, right? So it's giving you a gloss. Now we have matte top coats, right? Because everybody wants matte, right? Now, one thing about matte is it doesn't seal it doesn't really seal. If you use a matte top coat or on a gel over gel polish, you ever had matte top coat on and then you had maybe color in your hair and now your nails are kind of the color of your hair color on it? Because the gel polishes, the top coat that is not matte is going to seal in the nail, and it's going to keep it shiny. Matte will absorb. Think about it. It's kind of, it has a texture to it. It's not slick. Okay? So, nail hardeners. What's a nail hardener? Exactly what I just said. It hardens the nail. It literally has these different ingredients in it to make the nail a little bit stronger. Okay? I'm not a huge fan of wearing my natural nails. They, anytime you have product on your natural nails, what do natural nails do? They're a little bit less, most of the time they're more bendable than acrylic, right? So if you got a product on your natural nails, let's just say you have a polish on there, regular nail lacquer. What happens if you get in the pool and stay in the pool for a couple hours? What happens to your nails? They get soft and then your polish just chips right off, doesn't it? No matter what you do. So, you didn't know that was why? Because your nails are expanding and the polish is not. They're not expanding. So when your nail swells up with water, the polish is still shrunk to that normal size, and then your nail shrinking and expanding and shrinking and expanding, shrinking and expanding. That's why your nails chip a lot, because you take a bath every day, don't you? You do dishes at home. Your hands are in water. So, all that expanding and shrinking, expanding and shrinking, the polish is bound to chip at some point. Okay? So, nail hardeners, though, they have those products out there that will help harden the nail, make it stronger. I'm not really into natural nails as much as I like to have an extension or some type of coating on my nails, but that's what they're for. Okay? Now, the top coat, nail polish dryer products. A nail polish dryer product. We have some in there. It is a polish drying spray. Y'all seen it when you go get your nails done. They spray it all over the nail and all that stuff. How long does it take for nail polish to completely dry? We're talking about nail polish here, not gel. Anybody know?
Feel like 30 minutes.
How about 24 hours? Back in the day when we didn't have gel polish, I never forget one time I went and got my nails done and I just knew they was dry. Went home. This was a whole 8 hours later. Went to bed, had my hands underneath my pillow like this, laying on the pillow. Woke up the next morning and what did I have on my nails? The print from the pillowcase. Those cross weaves in the nail. You gotta think, nail polish, regular nail polish, you got layers of it. And once you cover one layer, it gets thicker, and then you got the top coat, it's thicker. It has to have time to completely cure, AKA dry, okay? And regular polish, it's just like when you get your car painted, they'll tell you when you pick it up. All right, now you gotta wait a couple weeks to wash your car for the first time. Or you're gonna wash the paint right off. It needs to cure completely. Same thing with your nails, okay? But it generally takes 24 full hours before you can dig in your purse, get your keys out, pull your credit card out of your wallet, or you're gonna put a little dent in it, a divot, or even damage the coating completely, okay? So, hand creams and lotions, they soften the skin. We talked about that. Now they have sunscreen in lotions and UVA, UVB rays and all that stuff in lotions and in nail conditioners. That's getting a little more deep into the natural nail than I'd like to go. But now let's talk about actually doing a basic manicure, okay? So I want you ladies to pull out of your kits bag number 1, bag number 2. You should only have those 2 bags in there. If you don't have your kit, which it should be up there on the station. And if someone does not mind letting me demonstrate with their kit, because I want you guys to see how this is done the proper way, a basic manicure. And this is the state board way. Oh, look at this pretty polish I got yesterday. So pretty. It's the same line that I got. Is that yours? Yep, that's your bag. Mm-hmm. Okay.
While you're waiting for them, can I borrow the book of the nail brushes that you use for the students?
Book of that black one? Yes. Here it is. There you go.
You
Nail.
can see what I did at work yesterday.
What you did at work?
Too much.
They about to lose me.
Oh Lord. Well, you'll be done with school before you know it. All right. So you got your bag for state board. Okay? Remember, it has a zip on it. Hold on. Let me get it unzip. When you sit down to take your state board, the first thing you're going to do, this is going to be on the floor. Not in your lap, not on the table. You're going to lean over and you're going to unzip this bag. And you're going to take out these trash bags. Why? The very first thing that you do. Now one's a trash bag, one's a soiled linen bag, and the other one, please write, because I ran out of labels, to be disinfected on there. We'll put it on there when I print them up because I got to make more kits. Disinfected. On your bag. And it should be on both sides and the sides on this side over here. To be disinfected. And why do you think it needs to be on all 4 sides? Because you don't know, because you don't know where you're going to be sitting, how you're going to be sitting. But when I teach you guys how to do this, I'm going to let you write on this side. I want you to put it in front of you. All 3 of them. Why do you think you need to pull these out first? The very first thing you have to do after you lay these out is you got to pull out that first bag. And that first bag has your sanitizing wipes and your gloves. That little skinny bag right there. That's the first bag. What's in that bag is your sanitizing wipes and gloves. Where you going to put the trash if you don't have a trash bag on the floor? This is one of the things the first time because we're going to do the state board several times. Like over and over and over and over again. Because you can get out of here and graduate. If you can't pass that state board, what you come for? So we're gonna do this over and over again. So you gotta have a bag to put the trash in. So a lot of times I see it's so funny. I see the students, now I done told you 1,000,000 times to pull these out first and put them on the floor. Very first thing. But then they skip that part and then they're wiping their tail. This is going to them. And then they're like, where did I put it? Don't you put it on that table you just sanitized. You're going to hold on to it. Now you got to hold on to that trash, unzip your bag, pull out the trash bags and try to do it with one hand. You're going to fail. This is the very most important part of this test, is that you sanitize everything properly, all right? So you're going to unfold your bags and put them on the floor in front of you. Why do you think I want them in front of you instead of beside you?
So that the other people can see.
Well, the state board proctor needs to be able to see, and that's the reason why you need it on all four sides, because she needs to see that you're putting it in the trash bag. If you've got it turned this way, she can't see that. And then maybe you can't see it, and you put your trash in the soiled linen bag, and then she comes around, she's like, oh, you got trash in your soiled linen bag. Points deducted. They take points off, all right? When I tell you I'm going to set you up to pass this state board, if you don't do it the way I tell you how to do it, you are going to lose points, okay? I've only done this a million times, all right? So now, you got your bags all laid out in front of you. The reason you want them in front of you, like I said, you're going to be in a tight little situation here. And it's going to be a girl sitting next to you or a boy sitting next to you. You forgot which one was yours. You start throwing stuff in my bag and make me fail, I'm going to be upset. So let's put it in front of you so you know it's yours. All right? Now, the bag is still open. I'm going to go in. Now, it's assumed that everything in this bag is clean and sterile. Honey, can I have this view, honey? Everything is clean and sterile inside the bag. Your hands, you can't sanitize them because you don't have no sanitizer out yet. So just don't overthink this. Assume that your hands are clean right now. So you're going to open up this bag, pull out those 3 bags, put them under the table. Then you're going to go back in here and you're going to have 3 bags. 3. Right now you have 2, so as not to confuse you. We're going to pull this one out, which has all your manicure stuff in it. Everything you need. That's why I said don't go home and play with it yet, because I don't want y'all to mix nothing up. This bag, which is the, this is supposed to be in here. All right. This bag, when you go to state board, going to have 2 towels in it. I don't put the towels in it because we got to wash these towels. There ain't no sense in you have. But when you get ready to practice when we get ready to practice our state board, you got to put you 2 towels in this bag and 2 towels in your other 3rd bag that you guys don't have yet. This is how it's going to come out. You're going to pull it out, take these bags, put them on your table just like this, and then what are you going to do? That bag is wide open. Zip it. Zip it. And why are we zipping it? Remember, it's symbolic. We got to have all of our clean stuff because there's still stuff in here for our next section. Beautiful. There's still stuff in there for our next section. So I've got these right here. First thing you need to do before you put anything on this table is you got to sanitize the table, right? But can I touch hand sanitizer without gloves? No. I know y'all do it all the time. You go right in that Clorox wipe and you just pull it out and you ain't supposed to do that. You're not. I know you don't read the directions. You ain't supposed to. The directions tell you use gloves. So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm not even paying attention to this one yet. Don't even look at it. Am I going to take my towels and put them out on the table? No. No. First thing we do is I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to grab my gloves. Not one, both. And I'm going to apply these gloves to my hands. My little dirty hands. Remember what I just said about going to the grocery store? I'm like, people just crazy. Your hands are dirty. So what? That doesn't matter yet. We haven't touched the client, have we? If you sanitize your hands before you put them in this glove, good luck putting the gloves on. Why? Wet, and you're just going to be like, that doesn't matter yet. We still got hand sanitizer in here, and we're going to sanitize our hands before we touch the client. Next step. You got the bootleg ones. I'm going to give you some good ones. They got to be Lysol wipes. or barbicide wipes. Don't use the wipes from the Dollar Tree that say wipes. If you show up with the wrong, you got the bootleg ones too. If you show up with the wrong wipes, they're going to turn you around at the door. Lysol wipes. These, you can get them in the Walmart shopping line, at the line in Walmart for 50 cents. I'm going to make sure if you buy a kit, because a lot of times my students just buy a new kit because you need all new stuff. You can't go in there with a busted hand. You can't go in there. You cannot. Okay? We're going to take the wipes. I'm going to open it. And you're going to grab one wipe. This is so important, you guys. And I know it sounds like I'm just like, go to State Board, do what you want. Go rogue if you want to. Okay? Open up the wipe. And we're going to clean our surface. You ain't Molly Maid. You ain't got to go in here and do all this and under the table and all that stuff at State Board, okay? Sanitize your surface. Now this is clean, right? Lay this far away from you. Now when you remove your gloves, does everybody know how to remove gloves properly? Ball this up in your hand. Take your finger. Don't go up because you're touching your skin. You're going to take your finger and you're going to pull this, turn it inside out. Now I can go underneath, pull it off. It's not stuck on your rings here. And then this goes where? In which one of these 3 bags? Trash. Throw it in the trash bag. Okay? Now what do I got going on over here? I got dirty hands, right? So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to take out my hand sanitizer. Go ahead. You can sanitize your hands at any time during this State Board. Take a little squirt. Put this on here. Put this over here. Rub your hands together. Now we going to town. Now we about to just set this table up. Today you guys are doing the table setup. This is a section of the State Board. The table setup. Just setting up the table. Don't have nothing to do with a nail, a manicure, none of that. Just this is a whole section. If you fail this section, you just pack your bags and go. Okay? So now I'm going to set my table up. My hands are clean. I can touch all my stuff. It's all clean. Remember, this is symbolism. No, don't ask me. They're not going to tell you to go wash your hands. They have assumed that you have washed your hands. Okay? Now we're going to go in here. First thing I'm going to pull out is my towels. I'm going to take my towel the long way. I'm going to fold it up. And I'm going to take this one and I'm going to roll it over the top. This is what? The armrest. This right here, I just always put that in there as a little towel for you if you need it. A little paper towel, right? These are the plastic backed expensive ones, right? You can use a paper towel just to lay it out. This is your blood exposure procedure. What is a blood exposure? If you cut your client or yourself. There are 4 things that must remain on this table at all times throughout this entire examination. The wipes, the hand sanitizer, your blood exposure procedure, and Sally, stiff hand Stella, whatever you want to call them. Okay? She got to stay on this table throughout the whole exam. These 4 things. Everything else at some point will not be on this table. This plastic bag, when you're done with it, don't pile it up neat and nice. Throw it into what? Trash. Now we're going to dig it out and put all our stuff right back in it from here when we're practicing. But at State Board, we're going to fast pass the State Board. We ain't never going to look at that bag again, are we? Nope. All right. So now, this whole bag needs to be emptied out. Everything in it. First thing I'm going to pull out, the obvious, the bowl. The bowl goes, it doesn't go this way. It doesn't go this way. It doesn't go this way. We need to make sure, hold this tab, make sure that the cup is where you can put a hand in it, and this tab faces me, not the client. You cannot do a manicure on somebody and their hand turned in this direction. Okay, so tab facing me. The hand, make sure you keep the hand with the tips facing yourself, because at the end, when you're done, the way you tell the state board proctor that you're finished setting your table up is you're going to turn the hand in this direction. You do not talk, you do not say nothing to them. If you speak to them, their generic answer. Anybody know what they're going to say, seniors?
Say that again?
What is the state board proctor going to say to you if you ask them anything?
Oh, do what you were told in school?
Do as you've been taught. If you say, I got to pee, do as you were taught. Your teacher told you not to talk to them, didn't they? They are not nice. They are not friendly. They are not your friend. They are there to grade you and everybody in there. And they get accused of being favoritism and all that stuff all the time. I didn't pass because you didn't like my hair. I didn't say a word to you, ma'am. They're not nice people. Ask anybody that's done the state board. Okay? They're not going to smile at you. They're not going to do none of that. So keep this hand turned towards you to indicate that you're still setting your table up. Everything else in this bag. Let's see what we got. We got what? Base coat, red polish, top coat, polish remover. Everything is labeled, and it must be labeled in English. So if you speak Vietnamese, or if you speak Spanish, or if you cannot bring anything that has anything other than English on it. This is a state board rule. Okay? So, what does that tell you? Folks that don't speak English don't have no license or read English or write. You have to take it. I had to sign an affidavit stating that I would only teach this. I could hire somebody to translate. Can't do it. So we got all of that, right? This is in no particular order yet. I'm just emptying the bags out. Okay? Q-tips, leave them in the bag. No need to empty it. Just lay that there. Cotton balls, keep them in the bag. Don't take them out. Just leave that there. What do we got here? We have lotion, cuticle oil, cuticle remover, and alcohol. Do y'all see acetone anywhere on this table?
No.
Why do we not have acetone on this table?
It's not the portion.
We don't need it. We don't need it. Why? We're working on what?
A manicure.
Natural nails. We don't need it. We're just removing polish, right?
Does it matter about the order?
I'm about to tell you about the order in a second. That's why I'm just pulling everything out first, okay? Now, in here, we have a bag of clean, disinfected implements. What did I just tell you I have in my bag, or in my box? I've got to have my implements that are clean in a box labeled clean, disinfected implements. When you go to state board, you may be sitting next to a girl that went to a school in another place and she got a box. If it don't say clean, disinfected implements on it, she's going to get points deducted. So your bag has clean, disinfected implements on it. What are we going to do with that? We're going to take each one of these out. What do we have in here? A wooden cuticle pusher, a nylon brush, an emery board, y'all. There's a difference between this and this. What's the difference? What did I say this grit was? What do you think this grit is? This is a natural nail file.
240.
240. The number that you should use on natural nails, you should never use anything less than 180. It will shred the nail to pieces. You go over this one time on a natural nail, the whole nail gone. You down to the hypernicule. You don't need this. This is an acrylic file. So this is what you use on natural nails, okay, at the state board. All right, there's many different emery boards out there, but this is what you will be sent with if you are from my school to the state board. This is called an emery board. This is an acrylic nail file. Okay? Everybody understand that? So we've got an emery board, wooden cuticle pusher, nylon brush, a buffer, and a nail clipper. little, small, curved. What's the difference between this one and those big ones that are straight across? Toenail. This is a nail clipper. Toenail clippers, bigger. Fingernail clippers, small. Okay, you got one of those in there. Where does this go? All of that's gonna go in the trash. Don't try to save it. Don't try to put it on the table. Just put it in there. The very last thing that we have, then this bag can go in the trash too. The very last thing we have is our water. And it must be a bottle of water. Will you please make sure he gets those packages, someone? Those, all them packages right there is yours, except that book. Get that book off. You got to get the book so he don't get it.
Oh, this?
Yes, all of that, except that. No, please take it. That stuff got to go. Oh, okay. Okay. That book does not have, and he's not UPS, so he can't take the UPS ones.
Okay, right there.
I had them all in a pile.
You trying to work this morning?
Oh, come on now. That one that does not have a label on it, please do not send that off. I put them over there for a reason so he could take them. Anyway, so you got the water, and it needs to be in a bottle, a water bottle that says water on it. Can you leave me one of those? Maybe I could just start putting them in one of those for you.
Oh, okay.
Because I got a lot of orders I got to start sending.
Okay, I'll bring you one tomorrow.
Water. This is just a small water bottle. And then what is this, y'all?
Soap.
Water and soap. This goes where?
Yeah, they try to get this.
Okay. Now, you're probably going to ask me, cotton balls and Q-tips, why not bring them out?
I do.
Remember what we said about disposable products. You don't just lay them on your table. We got to know that they're clean or dirty. So if they're just laying on your table, what are we going to assume? Right, that they're dirty. So once I have completed my table, getting everything out of here, I need to make sure that this stuff is in order. Now, are you going to fail if this ain't in order? Because you might remember, I know my order. I'm like, okay, first thing I need is this. Second thing I need is this. Third thing I need, you know what I'm saying? I know. But I want you to pass this state board. I don't want you to fail it. So how are you going to remember the steps? By putting everything in order. These things stay over here because we're going to need them every section over and over again until we finish this state board, okay? So don't accidentally get rid of this stuff. Just put it in a corner so that you don't lose it. Now, first thing that we do, what do you do before you eat? What do you do before you go to bed? Hopefully, if you do this first thing when you wake up in the morning, I pray. We pray together. Okay? So what are you going to do? First thing before you start this manicure, before you touch this client, is you're going to put this in your hand and you're going to slap your hands together and you're going to pray. Like this. So what goes first? Hand sanitizer. The next thing you're going to do, when your client, if I come and sit in your chair right now, what do you have to do to my hands before you can start anything? No, before you prep them, what's on them? What's on my hands right now? Polish. You can't do nothing to my, no, don't take your rings off. We don't do that. We don't take rings off. You ain't finna say I lost, you stole, or none of that. No, there's no need to take rings off. If you're going to get a manicure, don't wear rings. Don't take them off of my chair. Because I've had too many clients. I left my engagement. No, you did not. Leave the rings on. Polish remover. This hand don't have no polish on it. But this is symbolism here, remember? So when a client sits in your chair, before you can do anything, you got to remove their polish. So what's going next? Polish remover. After we remove the polish, the next thing you got to do, because we do not soak the hands in the water until we have done a few things. First, remove the polish. Then we need to trim their nails down, clip, file, shape, okay? So we've got clip, file, and shape, file and shape. And then we've got our buffer, right? That's there. We've got our cotton balls and Q-tips here because you're going to remove the polish with the polish remover. Now just remember, you can put this right here and say, okay, I'm going to clip, file, shape the nails and buff them. Put it in that little line right there if you want to. I just like to keep everything lined up and then keep your implements on the table. So you just remember that after you remove the polish, you're going to clip the nails. Then you're going to file the nails to make them smooth. And then you're going to buff the tips of them to make sure that they're nice and smooth. Because if you put it in the water and soak them and they get wet, what happens to wet nails? We said this earlier. They expand. Now this ain't a human. They ain't going to expand nowhere. But if it was a human and we tried to clip their nails while they were wet, you cut them too short, they're going to shrink back up. Then they're too short. You file them, they're not going to be hard, so they're not going to file real good. It might have a little rough edge on it. Okay, so you always clip, file, shape the nails while they're dry. All right? After we clip, file, shape the nails, the next step is what? Anybody know? Just guess. We got all this stuff up here. So we're definitely not polishing all that is last, right? Obviously, right? We got lotion and oil. Are we going to lotion up and oil up the hands and massage the hands before we do the whole cuticle remover? So you got alcohol and cuticle remover here.
It's
Alcohol, cuticle remover. So the next step is to remove the cuticles. But how are we going to remove the cuticles? How are we going to apply this?
With the cotton ball.
Q-tips. That's why we got the Q-tips here. That's the clean way. Is to take this, open it up, put the cuticle remover, Q-tip in there, and then put it on the cuticles. But when are we going to put the water in? Just make sure. No, you're going to, at state board, please put the water in. I had a student, because we practiced by going like this. Bloop, 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 because I get tired of doing wet towels every day, right? But at state board, you are absolutely going to pour this water in to this bowl. And soap, bloop, a little drop. Now you don't have to put this in the line because at the end of the day, you could have done this first after you hand sanitize your hand. You could do this at any step. Because just remember, don't put this hand in a bowl full of no water. Okay? Think about what you're doing. You have 20 minutes to do this. One hand. All right? So, before we put the cuticle remover on the nails, I would go ahead and put the water in and the soap. Then I'm going to put my cuticle remover on the tip, put it on the nails, and then I'm going to put my client's hand in there. Now, are you going to sit here for 5 minutes? Are you going to sit here for 2 minutes? I ain't sitting there for 30 seconds because I got 20 minutes to do this and I want to have plenty of time. But what you are going to do is you're going to make eye contact with the proctor so that they see you doing this. Please don't try to do no acrobatics and be like, oh, my thumb ain't in there, the pinky ain't in there. Don't try to bend the hand down. Just put the hand in the water, okay? Just put it in the water. Cuticle remover, put it in the water. Look at the proctor. They see you, wink your eye at them, keep going. Now take it out. Now I take it out and I've got cuticle remover on this hand.
The wood,
I need to get this in the water, brush off, because you're actually going to put cuticle remover on this hand. You could have pushed the cuticles back with it on there, but you can't really see what you're doing in real life. Okay, you want to get that off. You want to get it off so you can see what you're doing. Dust it off. Might even want to use a Q-tip to get the water off. But after you do that, then you're going to push the cuticles back. Push each one. Take your time. Push each one. Take your time. All 5. Then you're going to flip this over and we're going to clean out the dirt from under their fingernails. And this is all, there ain't going to be no dirt under the nails, is there? There will be no dirt under the nails, but you need to remove, this is symbolism. Now, one thing I want you to remember, as you're going along, once I have clipped the nail and filed the nail, where does this go?
and trash.
I want to hear it drop. Do not leave it on this table. After I have buffed and filed the nail, where does it go?
Trash.
After I've clipped the fingernails, where does this go?
To be disinfected.
Thank you. To be disinfected. I want to hear it drop in there. If you leave it on the table, it's now dirty. Go ahead and get rid of it. This is how I teach you to do it. Because if you wait to the end, guarantee you, you're going to get to the end of this. You're going to be sitting there just as happy you done did all this work. It looks so perfect. You did everything great. And you forgot to throw the dirty nipper or the clipper in the to be disinfected container. Do it as you, there's no reason for you to use it again. You don't need it again. Put it where it belongs. Get in the habit of doing this now. So when you become a nail tech, it'll be like second nature to you. After you finish using this, where does it go?
To be disinfected.
To be disinfected. After I've pushed back all the cuticles, where does it go?
Trash.
In the trash. Y'all see what's going on here? We got a nice clean table. Everything's clean. Do not get rid of any of this stuff yet. There's a whole section where we clean off the table and put everything away and get ready for the next client. Okay? Now, after I've gotten cleaned the cuticles or pushed back the cuticles, did my clipping, did my filing, did my shaping, what's the next step?
To powder polish.
Oh, we got a whole lot of things. Remember, the polish and all that's last. We got a whole lot of things still over here. Cuticle oil and lotion, right? Now, what I like, I put both of them up here because it's optional to use one or the other. But remember, we got a whole massage we got to do. And then what's this alcohol for? What's on your hands after you do this massage? Oil and lotion, right? You do not want anything on the nail plate when you apply polish to the nails because it will lift. If you got oil or lotion on the nail plate, it's going to lift. So this is the last step before you put your polish. And which one of these goes first? Base. Okay, so this is the order here. All right? So now I'm going to demonstrate how this is done. Now we got to apply tips to these nails. These right here. These are full coverage tips. You do not go to state board with a naked hand. You have to prepare this hand with some full coverage tips so that you can't polish on the skin. This is like a nail bed without a nail plate on it. So you have to prepare the nail with a nail plate by gluing on some tips
Is it
before you go to state board and before we do this manicure. I'm just going to demonstrate it without actually polishing it today. Okay, but I'm going to show you guys how to do this. If you watch the videos over the weekend, like I told you, what was the very first video? Prepping the hand. And what do? We just take a tip, fit it on there, glue it down so it stays. And these are already short. Some schools will send you there with a full size tip and you got to clip it, shape it, make it fit. These fit on this nail perfectly, on this hand perfectly. Okay? I'm not going to show that right now. I just want to show you guys the steps. So, now that I've got my table set up, what did I say was the last thing you do before you're done? Right, because let me tell you what them proctors going to do. They were not very nice. You're going to sit here, you're going to be like,
I'm done.
I'm done. You're going to sit back, you're looking at everybody, they just sitting there struggling. They don't know what they're doing next. They don't know none of that. And you sitting there with your hand and it ain't turned around. And everybody's looking at you like, because you're wondering, everybody's sitting here done. You, everybody. And the proctor's just like, and then you hear the timer go off. Ding! And you fail this section because you didn't indicate that you were finished. When I do this practice with you guys, I'm not very nice. Meaning, not that I'm mean to you. I'm going to treat you like they do. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say nothing. I'm going to let the timer run out. And I'm going to walk up to you and I'm going to say, you're done for the day. Because you didn't turn your hand around. You'll thank me later. Okay? I want you guys to know when it comes to this state board, I laugh and kiki and joke with y'all all the time, right? But I get real serious on state board practice day. Because I expect you guys to know this. We can polish nails and put stones and bling and do all that all day long. But if you don't pass this state board, you just wasted your money, your time, your effort. And this is what it's all about to get your license. Once you get your license, you do whatever you want to do, baby. I'm all here for it. But until that day, I'm going to be serious about this right here. Okay? So, turn the hand around and now you are ready. Okay? This is the table setup. Okay? This right here, what you see. What would be a disaster at state board? Let me just tell you a few things that can and do happen. Complete disaster. You drop your hand on the floor. Just pack your bags and go home. You know why? You can't pick it up.
That's what I was about to say.
You can't pick up nothing that hits this floor. If it hits the floor, just go home and reschedule the test and take it. Wait another 3 months to take it. You can have a backup.
Oh, you can? Okay.
But don't you bring it out, put it on that table, keep it in this bag. Now, what if you do drop that and your bag is zipped closed? Can you go back in there? Yes. How though? How? What do you have to do first? Yep. Unzip, get whatever you need. Oh my God. Because you had these 3 things they weren't in the bag, right? Oh my God, I left it in there. No, don't fret. What are we gonna do? Sanitize your hands, unzip the bag, grab what you need, then do what? Zip the bag closed. This is pass or fail, you guys. Okay? Am I scaring y'all? I'm preparing y'all. All right? So, if you forget something, if there's something in your bag, if for some reason this top coat falls on the floor, God forbid, I hope you got another one. So I say that to say, don't act like you got all this space in the world. Give yourself some elbow room. I see every state board when we practice, somebody knocks something on the floor. Everybody. Somebody does it. At least you do it one time. Okay? Every state board, somebody has this too far on the edge and this falls. That's a disaster. Now this is failed. Just failed. Now, please don't bring 3-4 extra Lysols, okay? Just how about this? Practice it the way I'm telling you and don't have it on the edge of the table so you don't drop it. It's the end of the world if it all hits the floor. You can't pick it up. Please don't pick up no nippers that you dropped on the floor to cut my nails and pick them up and do my nails with it. Gross. This is for real symbolism, but it really means something at the end of the day, right? So, Q-tips, cotton balls, leave them in the bag. But please don't have the bag over here. Look, this is what they do. They don't want to listen to me. They're like, I'm going to do it this way. Do it this way. This is the way I'm going to do it. Because I want to do everything my way. And then, bloop, everything hits the floor. Listen to your grandmother, okay? I will not steer you wrong. Put it the way I taught you. Now, here's another thing you're going to say. You know what, Miss Mary? I don't want to buy your kit. I don't want a new one. I want to pack my own kit. And I want to take my own stuff to state board. I don't want to buy a brand new. Because you can buy these guts brand new. It's $80 for everything. Brand new, already set up for you. Everything already labeled. Everything, all of that. It's on my website. If you are trying to take the state board and you didn't go to this school, you can buy this state board kit. It's on my website. And this state board kit is good for every state in the whole United States. Okay? The bag, everything. But you want to go rogue and you want to do it yourself. I had a student that said, I'm going to pack my own kit. And guess what polished color she brought?
Something other than red.
Caliente red. It was kind of orange with some sparkles in it. Not really red, but not really orange. And she had to redo that whole section, that whole practical, because she decided She didn't want to do red. Not like I didn't tell her a million times. You are not to bring anything other than thought red. That's what I call it.
The color your mama wore.
Yeah, the color your mama told you, granny told you not to wear. Red, 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 not red slip ruby slipper with a little shimmer in it. Red. Y'all know what color red is.
Red.
Red. Okay? She wanted to put, I had another student decided, she was like, I want to put a tag with some flair on my bag. She wanted to put like some bling, a little tassel on her bag. Please don't go in there trying to impress these people. All right? If I tell you, because you also must wear a cape to state board. Now this ain't in y'all's kit because you ain't got to wear a cape in class. I mean, some schools say, but you must wear a cape. Not a shirt that is split down the middle with buttons. A cape that zips or has like a lab coat that nurses wear. It can have buttons on it, but I mean not like a button down collared shirt. It must be a cape. Show up without one. I have these for sale, okay? Because they're not cheap. But I have them for you guys when you get ready to go state board. You must wear one. Don't go in the state board talking about you gonna wear your Nike outfit and your matching clothes and your nails to match. This is a serious test. This is your make or break whether you get a license or not. Do what I tell you to do and wear the cape. You can get these at the same uniform shop that I told you guys because they have the contract for the cosmetology school over there at Augusta Tech. So they send all their students in there. He charges $40 for this cape. Mine is $20. Same cape. All right? So you got to wear this during your state board. Do it got to be black? Nah. It could be any color, I guess, I suppose. But, cape. All right? So, remember what I said about the wipes? What kind do they need to be? Or barbicide. Hospital grade must say virucidal, germicidal, fungicidal. If it has missing one of them cytals, do not take them. Don't take them. Clorox wipes, can you use them? Nope. That's bleach. Will it work in the salon setting? Yes, but they will turn you around if you walk in there. And I got a box full of them, Lord. You know how I know? Because one of my students came back and told me and said, Miss Mary, thank God I had the Lysol ones with me. Because I had gotten a big box of the Clorox ones from Sam's and was like, oh, these will work. They're wipes, right? Me. Turned them around at the door. And she's like, I got Lysol ones in my car. Good to go. Just do what I tell you. 99.9% disinfecting wipes. Can't say hand sanitizer. Y'all know them wet ones? Hand sanitizing wipes. What is that? Alcohol on a baby wipe. You cannot take those to state board. Everybody understand what I'm trying to tell you. Just take the kit the way I got it. Don't do nothing extra. Don't take nothing extra. You do not need to take a jar of alcohol this big. Why do you think I put it in a little bottle like this? Because you are wiping down 5 fake fingers. They're not even human fingers. What happens if this spills in your kit? Why do you think I have all this stuff sealed for y'all? These are the same kits that I sell on my website. The same ones. So when they get them, they're already sealed. Because if you go to state board with your rogue kit that you made up for yourself, you ain't got no, I guarantee you ain't got no sealer in your at the house, right? With the plastic sealer. You ain't got that. All right? So when you go to state board and you get there and all of this wasted in your bag, how you going to remove the polish? Because at the end of this, we're going to have red polish on this nail. And guess what? This is the same hand we use for the manicure, for the tip, the sculpted nail, and the removal. So what do you think you have to do when we're done with this whole manicure? There's a whole section of removing the polish and you have 5 minutes to do it. So guess what? This better be full. And you better not have wasted it all in your bag, because that would be a disaster. How you going to get the polish off? Ain't no more in here. Okay? So, like I said, been doing this a long time. I got y'all set up to win. My students don't fail state board. They don't. Not the practical part. They definitely don't. I've only had one fail the theory, and she went right back and passed it, and then she ran out of time. Not because she didn't know the stuff. She knew the stuff. Okay? So, does everybody understand this setup? Very easy, very simple, straight and to the point. Okay? Now, what I want you guys to do is set your table up. All right? Exactly the way. You don't have to do the whole state board, start over from scratch and all that, but I want to see you set up your table, and I'm going to take this away, and then we're going to actually I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay? So, set your table up. You will need to go grab 2 towels from the clean linen basket back there. Somebody just go grab 2, 4, 6, 8 towels for me. They back there, baby, behind that white chair. I'm gonna take the opportunity right now to answer some questions from some folks if they have questions on the curriculum that we just went over. If you would like to read any. Oh, we're still live, huh? Just went? Oh, okay. Hey, y'all. Hello, y'all. We have we been live? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. We just went live?
5 minutes.
Oh, like 5 minutes ago. Okay. Hey. Oh, Lord, y'all. I can't read these things going too fast. Diana, will you read me some questions? Well, while my students are getting ready to set up their state board kits. Go ahead. I want you to set it up. Don't look at my table now. Don't cheat.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, love. Oh, I got your stuff. I'm sorry. Well, I guess you can come sit right here while I answer questions and set up this table.
Yup.
We're going to throw all this right here to the side and you set up this table. Okay?
See my phone too fast.
We're gonna let y'all. I'm gonna take the phone while you set up your table. I want to see you set this up just like it's supposed to be set up.
Oh, I'm trying to get famous.
How many times do you have to take the state board after you fail? As many times as it takes. As many times as it takes. You have 3 years in the state of Georgia to set up, to take your state board after you graduate.
You don't throw my bag in the trash.
You don't need the bag. I just want you to set it up. Pretend that the bag, that it's already, you just took everything out. Set it up. Just use it like a puzzle.
So everything.
Put your puzzle together.
Already.
Yeah, you're already sanitized. I want you to, and you put your gloves and all that. So just set your table up. I'm in Augusta, Georgia. I'm going to only answer questions about the state board. Only questions about the state board. If it's about anything else, we'll save those for another live. Can I help with the written part? Yes, we can help with the written part of the exam, the theory. We do have the theory exams available to purchase and practice with. Is there a fee for state board? Yes. In Georgia, the practical exam is $54. The written is $45, and it comes up to $109 if I'm not, something like that. 69, I can't remember. 45 and something else. It's $109 for both parts. If you fail one part, you only take that part. If you fail both parts, you take both parts over again. Thank you so much. Thank you. This girl talking about her attitude, she teaching me for me. Oh Lord. What do you carry? So yes, VA, Virginia is the exact same practical. every state in the United States that uses the PSI exam will be the same as ours, okay? If you fail one part, do you have to repay? No, you repay for just that part. Just that part. Our class is 600 hours. When you guys are finished setting up your table, how am I going to know you're finished?
Turn your hand.
Yep, so you don't have to tell me you're done. I'm just going to look at it and I will know that you have completed. You're welcome, you're welcome. Is it hard, only 150 hours in Virginia? I don't know if it should be the same, okay? It should be the same. For anyone that is interested in what we have learned today and the table setup and all that, because I'm not showing that. I'm not showing that for free. If you are interested or you are about to take your state board, we have this going on right now live on Zoom. It's $49 and there will be a replay. There will be a replay of this entire class for $49, okay? You guys, I can't give you this stuff for free. My students are paying for it. You got to pay for it too. At the end of the day, $49. Texas has the same state board, same hours. It's going on live right now on our Zoom. If you click the link in my bio, you can purchase it for $49 and watch what we're doing and replay for $49. There will be a replay, okay? $25 class is not the state board. This is a state board. My state board information is not cheap. Yes, darling.
My top coat.
Where's your top coat? Did it fall? Maybe it fell in my bag. Did it fall?
I'm gonna put stuff.
Well, you know, it might have fell. Well, where did it go? Don't worry. No worries. I'll give you another one right now. Oh, that's it? How did it get over there? Here you go, baby. There's another one. Okay. All right. Let's take a look here. Wow. Wow. I'm impressed. I am impressed. So y'all really be paying attention, huh? Let's see what you got over there, Selena. Selena. Wow. Take your time. Take your time, Deja. I'm not rushing. Excellent. Excellent. If your state board requires a manicure, guarantee you this is the one you need to see. Okay? Guarantee you this is the one you need to see. We charge $3,500 to be in this school right now. Right now. So my students are paying for it. You got to pay for it too. $49 is cheap for just this section. This is what you need to get your license. Okay? Take your time, Deja. You are doing just fine. Doing just fine. Remember where your polish remover goes. Remember, it's the very first thing you got to do. Yeah, there you go, baby. There you go. You got it. Right. Excellent. Perfect. Perfection. Y'all got it. Very nice job. Clap for yourselves. Clap for yourselves. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So now I'm going to actually perform the state board. If you would like to perform this manicure real quick. If you want to sit beside me, you can. Or if you want to sit over here and watch, you can, since I'm using your stuff. What you're going to want to do, and I'm just going to mock everything, okay? I'm going to mock it. What does it mean to mock?
Don't open up stuff, just,
We're going to pretend.
yeah.
You know, we're going to pretend. All right. We're going to take it out of here, you guys. You can't watch this part. If you would like to watch what we're doing right now, click the link in my bio and you will receive a link to watch us do this via Zoom right now for $49, and there will be a replay, okay? So, gotta go, okay? See y'all later. Peace. All right, so that's that. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do this. When I say mock, you're going to see me pick up, do things. I may pat my hand on it rather than actually open it because I just don't want to open your new stuff. You're going to open it in once because we still got to prep this hand, okay? We're going to go to lunch in a minute. This only takes, let me tell y'all how long this takes. 7 minutes. 7 minutes. You have 20 minutes to do it. You got 15 minutes to set your table up. How long did it take to set the table up? We talking about 2 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. You have 20 minutes to do the state board, the actual manicure, okay? 7 minutes is what it takes. 7 minutes. That means, because you guys have 60 manicures that you have to do before you can graduate from this school. That means that in 2 hours or in an hour, how many can you get? Let's just say it's 10 minutes. We'll make it 10. How many can you do in an hour? 6 at least. So if you're sitting around on your TikTok all day, like me, you ain't got 6 of them done in 1 hour or a couple hours. I'm going to side eye you a little bit because you get an hour of time for doing one 7-minute manicure. 1 hour of credit the state will allow me to give you. It takes 7 minutes. So that means every day, because tomorrow we're going to do manicures all day long. All day. I'm so glad you all made it. All day. It's fine, because guess how many you can do in an hour? So that means you get 7 hours worth of time in an hour. How long are we here every day? 6 hours. So if you do at least 6 manicures a day, meaning 6, you got 6 hours. 6 times 6 is what? 36 manicures a day. That's the maximum I expect you to do. But if you tell me you did 36 manicures in an hour, we're going to have to talk. You telling some stories. You's a fibber, okay? So if you miss all day tomorrow or this week. Let's say you miss all this week. You can make up a whole week's worth of manicures in a day if you really work hard. See what I'm saying? So it ain't that I need you guys to be.
We can pull a Saturday too.
See what I'm saying? And you can make up time on the evenings and on a Saturday. This stuff is gonna pile up on you after a while because I teach very quickly. I try to get the whole book done in a month. Because guess what? We got new students starting in. And I don't want to be behind on anything. I would want to be teaching them this when y'all are already done. You know what I'm saying? So I teach everything quick, and then the rest of your time here, like Diana back there, she's working on something else because she's been done with her stuff. Okay? So then once I teach it, it's your responsibility as a grown up to come in here and get it done. I'm not going to stand over you and say, did you get 6 manicures done today? At the maximum, I only need you to do 6, right? Because we got 6 hours. But I just told you it takes 7 minutes to do it. So you can get a whole lot more done than that. So what I would say to Anijah, who knows she's going to be out for a while, is to get as many done as you can when you are here. So that way you're good. Think about it. 6 hours a day, 6 manicures. That means 36 times 4, 24 you need to do in a week to stay on track. But you can get 24 in a day. So that means you come in here 2 days a week and get out 24. You got enough done for 2 weeks. You see what I'm saying? All right? So, really quickly, we're going to do this manicure. I got my stuff laid out. Everything's laid out. And then we're going to go to lunch.
I'm not ordering.
Go ahead.
Salon or no?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. First thing, I'm going to pray, right? Sanitize your hands. And guess who else's hands you got to do? She ain't going to move, so you're going to do hers too. Sanitize your hands and Sally's hands. Now remember, this arm is supposed to be attached to somebody, so please don't do this because you ain't got help in a headlock over here. All right? Have her turn the right way. All right? Don't do this. Do it the right way. All right? Sanitize your hands and her hands. The hand down. Now, you can say you want to go ahead and put the water in so you don't forget, but you're not going to forget to put the water in because you can't put the hand in an empty bowl. Okay? So, you can go bloop, 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 bloop. And this is what I want y'all to do too. If you're going to fake it, I want to hear the bloop bloops. All right? Bloop, bloop, bloop. Splash. Right? So, that's done. All right? First thing we're going to do, Deasia. There's invisible polish on this hand. She just came in. She got polish on there. We're going to take our polish. We're going to open our cotton ball. I'm going to take one cotton ball. Now let me tell y'all something about cotton. It's got lint. I hate cotton, but at State Board we're going to use cotton, right? You're going to take this and you're going to saturate it. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Make sure, rub it around. Make sure there's no dry spots. Because if there's a dry spot and you rub it on here, guess what? It's going to be lint. And you're going to be picking at it and it's aggravating. Make sure it's wet. Okay? When you remove polish, let me show you how you do it. We don't do it like this. What's going to happen if this polish is red and I'm going up and down, just pushing it off? It's going to be it's going to like a murder scene. You're going to have red polish all over this finger. All over it. So what we do is we saturate it, put it on the nail, let it sit for a second. And then we twerk it on down. Right? Y'all won't forget that. Will you? Take the cotton ball, turn it onto another side, clean side, lay it on the polish, twerk it on down. Down. If you got a little bit left on there, you didn't get it all off the first time around, turn it over again, and this time just twerk it on down, push a little harder, okay? You might get this super red and gross or whatever. Now remember, there ain't no polish on here, so you ain't gonna have that problem. Even at State Board, there will be no polish on here when we first start this, but you have to do the motion. So you just gonna, at State Board, please don't mock. Please really put everything on there, okay? This is just for practice today. Same thing, twerk it on down. Where does this go? Trash. I'm not gonna waste them and put it right back in, but it goes in the trash. Do not lay it on your table. Do not put it in a pile over to the side. Put it in the trash. All right. So now that we have removed the polish, the next step is to clip. Go ahead, open it. Again, your nails are already short. These are short. We're going to take our nail clipper, and I want to see you just at State Board. I don't want to hear you clipping anything. Guess why? Because you had to prep this hand before you got here. If you're clipping nails at State Board, you didn't prep your hand before you got there. So do the motion. Clip, clip, clip. Clip, clip, clip. Clip, clip, clip. Do it slow. Don't take your time. This is not a race. You are not racing nobody. Clip, clip, clip. Once I'm done with that, what am I going to do with this? To be disinfected. Drop it in the bag. All right? To be disinfected. Then I got jagged edges over there. I'll take my emery board and I'm going to smooth out the nail. Now let me tell you what you're not going to do. We don't file natural nails like this, seesawing. Why? It's shredding the nail. You really don't want to do that. All with natural nails, remember this is not a human, but we're going to pretend it is. We do what's called, I like to call it the violin, or leading the choir. Okay? One time on one side. Take it from the side wall or the lateral nail fold and bring it to the middle to the other side. Okay? So at State Board, you're going to move a little fingers to the side. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. All right? Please listen to me. When we do our State Board and I'm practicing with you guys, I am going to call you out on everything that you do wrong. Please do not get an attitude. Don't get mad. Don't be thinking I'm picking on you. I am helping you. Okay? 1, 2. Where does this go?
Trash.
Drop it in there. Then we're gonna take our buffer because the edges are still probably a little rough. And one thing that I love to do with a manicure is make sure, remember, slick to slick does not what?
Stick.
So if you want your polish in real life to last, buff that natural nail. Okay? We're gonna take our buffer and we're gonna buff, buff,
And we buff for real.
buff, buff, buff. Then where does this go?
Trash.
Bloop, trash. Now, we've got our water in our soap, right? We already did that. Now we have to remove the cuticle. The only thing we got left on our table is the cuticle pusher and the brush, right? So now we take some Q-tips, a Q-tip. And you're gonna open this up and you're gonna dip that in there because that's the clean, sanitary way to do it. Dip it in there. And now we're gonna apply that to the skin or the nail plate.
Nail plate.
The nail plate, because that's where the cuticle is. So we're just gonna rub around the nail plate at the cuticle. Boop. All 5. Where does this go?
Trash.
Trash. Now that we've done that, we've applied the cuticle remover. Now we got to do what with the hand?
We gotta scrape it
But
off.
before you scrape it
Oh,
off,
we gotta soak it.
yeah, put the hand in there. Now if the proctor's all the way on the other side of the room, wait for her to come back.
She go.
There she go. Right? Give her a little wink. All right, bring it on out. Now you got cuticle all over, cuticle remover all on these nails. You can either brush it off now, because you're going to have water in this bowl that stayed bored. Dip it in the water, and when we remove it, we do it the same in the direction away from the cuticle. Push it away. We ain't trying to scrub her up for surgery. We just removing the cuticle. Do it on all 5. And then where does this go?
I mean,
This
To be disinfected, correct. To be disinfected, drop it in there. Now, I'm gonna remove her cuticle. This is not a human. In real life, you might wait because you're gonna be pushing, it's gonna be gook on there. You're gonna wanna get it off. You might keep the brush beside you. But at state board, this is not a human. There's no cuticle on the nail. We're mocking this. Push back. We're gonna gently push back the cuticle on all 5 nails. Right? What else do we need to do with this cuticle pusher before we throw it away? Flip it over and clean underneath the free edge. Clean, swipe underneath the free edge. Okay? Not the tip. Remember, we're using proper words. Where does this go?
Trash.
Trash. Now, we're going to do what's next. What's in the order over there, Deasia? And lotion, cuticle oil and lotion and or one or the two. In real life, I like to use both. But at state board, because this is a plastic hand, is she going to absorb any of that lotion? So what my tip is for you is to put the very smallest amount of lotion that you can put on your hand. I mean a little poop. Call it a day. Because you're really lotioning your hands. And you don't want to, here's the worst thing that can happen. Hands all lotioned up and you can't get your bottles open. So that's another tip. Make sure these are cracked open. When you laying it out, just kind of check it to make sure they ain't. And that's why you want a brand new one, because y'all ever had one that's been used and then you cannot get it open? Yeah. So just make sure they open. So we're gonna take our lotion. We're mocking this, remember? Boop, boop, boop. Put it on your hand. Don't put it on her hand. That's cold. That don't feel good. Put it on your hand. Rub your hands together to warm it. Now I'm going to show y'all a few things. I want y'all to look up at this screen and watch my hands. There's 4 different massage techniques that I want you to learn. At state board, they want to see 2. How many are we going to do? 4. Because I taught you this way. And I don't want them to say, oh, well, I only saw 1. Baby, I did all 4. There's a 5th one that you're not able to do unless you're real talented, and that's vibration. Okay? We're not going to vibrate. We're going to leave that for the chairs. That is a massage technique, but it's not one that we do physically, right? The first one, is effleurage. Effleurage means to go up and down. So that's when you see someone pull on the fingers, straight down, straight down, straight down. Or maybe you're just going up and down the hand, up and down, straight up and down. Okay? The next one, petrissage. Petrissage is when you are doing a circular motion, like you are making bread, or anytime you're going in a circle. Okay? Circular motion, petrissage. Okay? The next one is friction. Y'all remember your little brother, your annoying little cousin that used to come up to you and give you the Indian rug burn? Well, that's friction. Anytime you're going against one of your hands going in the opposite direction, or you're twisting, that's friction. Okay? You can do this very quickly. You don't have to spend 5 minutes on this. Okay? The very last one is the easiest one, and that's tapotement. Tapotement. What are we going to do? Tapotement is to tap. This is a technique that we do on the elderly or the chronically ill. This actually feels very good, and it will make you have a stimulation to your skin, okay? So what were they again? This is the motions we're going to do. Effleurage, petrissage, friction or around the wrist, and then tapotement. How long did that take? Less than 30 seconds. That's what you need to do. My students, I want to know you did all 4. Okay? Now, the hands all greasy. We can't put polish on top of greasy fingers. So now we're going to take another cotton ball, right? And we're going to take the alcohol, saturate it, and then we're going to remove, same way we did the polish. Remove the oil off of the nail. We don't want to remove all of it off the skin. We don't care about that. We want the skin to be nice and smooth. Remove the oil off of the nail plates. Okay? Where does this go? Trash. Very good. Trash. Now that we've removed the oil, the next step, base coat. When you are applying your base coat, very thin, do not make it thick, okay? And this one doesn't have fingers on it, but we're going to, and I want you guys to pay attention to this. When you're polishing, take your polish out. Don't let it be dripping like that. You're going to take it out and you're going to push away from yourself. That's going to leave polish on the bottom of the brush. If you go in, I see a lot of students do this in the beginning. You're going to push and push on back towards yourself, and now you got polish on the top. Now you got to flip it over. That's too many motions. Okay? So, if you're a professional, you're going to put this in your hand and you're going to hold it while you polish. But y'all ain't quite there yet, all right? I don't want you dropping it. So just put it on the table. Take your polish, the wand out. Push away from yourself. I want you guys to try this so you see what I'm talking about. Take the bottle out, take the brush out, push away from you. Push this way. And now you have polish on the bottom of the brush, not on the top. If you have polish on the top and then you wipe it away here and then you're going to have polish everywhere because it's going to fall, it's going to get on the skin and all that. You only want polish on the bottom of the brush. But push away from yourself and then you're going to apply it to the nail. Try to do 3 strokes. This is air dry polish. If you do more than 3 strokes, you're going to have a streaky, strokey mess. Okay? As soon as it hits the air, it starts to dry. This is not gel. This is why you have to practice this, because you will not get it the first time around. All right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this bottle up like I'm polish the base coat. How many coats of base coat are we going to put on here? 1 coat, I meant. 3 strokes, but 1 coat. 1 coat. Then we take our red coat. Same thing. Push away from yourself. Now you got polish just on the bottom. 3 strokes. Go in, do it again, 3 strokes, etc., etc. 1 coat, then go back and do coat 2. We're doing 2 rounds of red polish, okay? And then the last coat is your top coat. You are probably not going to be completely dry. By the time you guys get down to halfway of this top coat, it's going to be red. It's going to have a little tint to it. Don't nobody care, okay? Because this, you haven't really given it a chance to dry all the way. Don't sit there and wait for the polish to dry. We're going to do clear top coat on all 5. Now, what are we going to do at the very end? We are finished. And sit and wait for them to give you the next instructions. Does everybody understand that? How do you feel? Easy, right? Easy. You by the time you do this 10 times, you got it down. I promise you. You're going to have it down. And I'm going to sit with each one of y'all individually, and you're going to do one in front of me. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but sometime in the near future. Okay? So, when we come back, we're going to do some actual manicures, but we're going to actually prep this hand. Okay? So, go ahead and go to lunch. It's 12:52. Y'all come back at 1:30. All right?